We're live. Hey, hosers. May Bowen here, and I am joined with the amazing Kaden. And
Hi.
while we're just aimlessly going to talk about random stuff, I kind of
Pretty
was going
much.
to use this as a, talking about going for, or at least looking into getting bottom surgery and all the stuff that goes with that, and the rather unique um bottom surgery that I want. So I'll go
Mhm.
over that a little bit. Um I was hoping more people would have joined in, but
Same.
I guess not.
It's a Monday. A lot of people are kind of tied up.
Yeah. Oh well. So let's see here.
We'll see if Jenny comes in. 'Cause I know that she mentioned it. Olio.
Jessica.
Oh, Jessica. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
Jenny, I just saw Jenny online, so she might. And
I had no
Brittany
name
said she
for
wanted to
that.
come in.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, about your surgery, I'm kind of wondering what you found out. Because I want to hear more about this. I mean, it's not something that
Is
I'm
that?
really into, but it's a topic that I think is interesting and it might help a lot of non-binary people.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
actually gonna move inside. Give me a second. Just because of the stigma
Yeah,
of living in Utah and talking about this. My neighbors are Mormon missionaries and they
lovely.
obviously don't approve of any non-binary anything, so
Window capture. Where's window capture? Now, I'm not going to show the. I'm not going to show the photos, but
and yeah, my hair's a mess. I apologize. I
your hair
didn't
is
plan on
less
this.
of your hair is entirely less of a your hair is entirely less of a mess
Well,
than mine.
thank you.
Okay. I don't think that's it. It's
Having
not.
technical difficulties?
Well, it's not showing the window I want it to show. Chrome. Excuse me. I hate summer. Allergies.
Same here. I like lots of allergies and just, things getting in the way. So I totally get that. I can't wait till winter again.
Yep. Okay, so that's not gonna work. So there we go. All right, so I will put the uh yeah, sure.
Hmm?
Oh,
Oh, something
Yin
going on
Wolf
actually.
just said he wants on, so
Wolf?
yeah.
That would be awesome if you would be okay with it. He's not transphobic. I'm just warning
Yeah,
you.
I
Like,
mean,
he might have questions, but he's cis, but he's not phobic.
yeah, I don't assume people automatically are.
Okay?
Uh edit.
Having Yin on would be awesome.
No. Uh add people. Yin Wolf. Add. Hopefully he can see the previous
I think
messages.
so. He might have to download the Zoom link because I don't know if he has Zoom.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm just gonna text him right now and say that first. Um,
Okay, lost my limeade. I'm pretty sure I still have the link in my. Nope.
So I just sent him a text saying that he needs to download the Zoom app.
Yeah, well, it depends what he's on. It'll just
Well,
automatically
yeah, but
do it
on
if he's on a.
he's usually on a laptop, so
Okay, yeah.
that might be trouble than doing it through a phone like I am.
Yeah, it's a lot easier doing it on a laptop than a phone.
Yeah, I should get my laptop fixed one of these days. And it's like time and money that I
Okay.
don't really have. So
Yeah. Okay, I moved that over there.
okay.
I mean, there's a very. I'll put the link in the side chat just because there's really not a whole lot of information that they're putting out.
Yeah. But what sort of information is out there? Because I was aware of very little. Like I've heard of people doing that kind of surgery, but I usually heard of it as only done in Thailand, and it's also very secretive and very, kind of back alley is what I've heard of. So this looks like it's not like it's done out of a place in California, and it looks to be very reputable.
Yeah,
So I'm really
I put a
to it.
link to it in the side chat.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to get the Zoom. I'm gonna have to get the invite link. Copy that. And great thing about solely capturing the
Um,
window. Oh no, I don't need
he
that anymore.
texted saying he needs the meeting ID link thingy.
Yep, I am on that.
Okay, cool.
There you go. Oh, that's what the sound is. Okay.
So we should see him soon, and then you could, if at all possible, could you kind of explain like what the surgery is and what it will do, what it will create,
Yeah, I'll
and
do my best. I mean, I wasn't planning on going into this much detail, but if that's what you want, I'll do it.
well,
It's.
only if you're comfortable with it. Only if you're only if you're not uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm fine with describing it.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be a little graphic, that's all.
Oh, it's okay.
Also, I don't know how. I also don't know how to pronounce the bloody thing.
Right. Yeah. I'm not good at pronouncing things, definitely. So I feel your pain.
It's.
You don't have any sound. I can't hear you.
I think I heard him.
Hey, can you hear us?
I can hear you both, yes.
All right.
Can you
Mm-hmm.
hear me
Okay.
okay?
Yep, can hear you loud and
Yeah, we can
clear.
hear you.
Awesome sauce.
Uh,
Have they changed Twitter for anyone else?
yep, it's pretty much stuff
I've
like
no.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
they made some changes.
God damn it.
And
That looks
feminine.
horrible.
It's a pain, isn't it?
It really effing is.
Oh no. Oh, I can just do that. Actually, I have the thing up on another window. Where am I? I just have to look for it. I wasn't expecting to bring up all the information. No.
Where are you?
No. I actually closed that. Okay. No.
Oh, Kitty! Oh my gosh! That's Hoshi, isn't it? Aw,
Yeah.
you. She's so adorable.
This it.
Would you want to introduce yourself, maybe?
Well, I'm David. I'm your boyfriend. All the way from Scotland.
Yeah.
Hey. I'm a Canadian dairy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there's Whitney.
Hey, and there's Brittany. Awesome. I guess. And it's exactly what I thought. Jen is half asleep and still in bed.
Aw.
This thing, Jen says she's half asleep. I say they're half awake.
yeah. It's you're what, 5 hours difference from me?
7 hours different from me.
Yep. There you go.
Yes.
Okay. Let me just move
Gosh.
this page over everybody here so I can't see any of you, but I can read the page and look at the camera while I'm doing so. Okay. No, that's not the page I want anyways. So,
What the hell?
so okay, you stay there because I actually want at hand. So what it basically does is instead of what it's I can't pronounce it. I don't even know how to try to pronounce it. It's peritoneal.
Peritoneal, I think.
Yeah, it's a peritoneal pull-through vaginoplasty. So basically what it does is it uses your body's internal lining that separates the organs to make a vagina instead of basically penis skin.
Right.
So what they can do is, because that doesn't need to use any part of the penis to be done,
Yeah.
we can just leave that where it is and how it is and not do anything with it.
Exactly.
So I'm not really sure exactly how the procedure works. Because I'm not necessarily a surgeon.
Right.
But the idea is we're going to...
I thought they used like the scrotum skin. Or one. That's what I saw once did.
They use the scrotum skin, I think, just for a bit of the entrance and for the labiaplasty.
Yeah, for like the more of the outside stuff, not the internal stuff, but outside.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah, I
got
think
they've got a new technique now where they can use part of the, I think it's the intestine, to make it a fully functioning self-lubricating vagina, and they've with that they've cut down on recovery time.
Yep, it's very much the same. That's actually a really old procedure. Jenny basically would have had that, but and it was new when she had her GRS, she said. And that was like 20 years ago. So yeah, it's not necessarily it's a newer technique than the one that was developed in what, like the 30s. But it's not so much a super new technique. And this one, like the peritoneal lining is mucous membrane, so it is also self-lubricating. And let me see if I can just go to the... I had an excellent website with all of the important stuff, but I guess I just need to find that. Because I was doing stuff. Oh, now I have that one open twice. No, I don't want that. There's that one again, so I can... that is the Ontario Ministry of Health. Okay, good. Yes, I'm 18 or over. Feminine. Peritoneal pull through. See, yeah, they don't even offer the colon version anymore because it's not all that great.
Right.
Because it probably smells, doesn't it?
No, it wouldn't smell. What? There would be a mucus smell, but it wouldn't smell like, because none of that would be passing through that part of it. It'd be completely closed off.
Okay.
So blah blah blah. I need all the same. I need basically all the same shit I need for any other surgery for it. Okay. And the surgeon, Dr. Hetty Wittenberg, is like one of the premier people at GRS. Whether you're doing penile inversion or a peritoneal pull through, so that is good. I really need like a third monitor. Yeah, Jenny just says she didn't consider it. I should have more said it was an option when she had hers. And she's right. It is kind of dangerous. It's not something that you really want to be doing. So during surgery, a laparoscope and several instruments are inserted through a small 5 to 8 millimeter incisions on the abdomen. These instruments allow for dissection of the potential space between the lower urinary tract and rectum. This space will become the future vagina. Peritoneum flaps can be pulled through the area between the urethra and rectum to line a portion of the vaginal canal. The top of the vagina is separated from the abdominal contents by closing the peritoneal lining approximately 15 centimeters from the vagina opening. The remainder of the vaginoplasty procedures, labiaplasty, clitoroplasty, penectomy, orchiectomy, those two I'm not doing, and so on and so forth, are similar to the penile inversion. The potential benefits are, so it's kind of simple. It's also robot operated, not like much people doing it.
Really?
So yeah. So the potential benefits of this option are self-lubricating with some elasticity, less need for dilation, not none, but less, less need for douching, less pre-op hair removal, which if I had no hair below my neck, I would be a very happy girl. So I might even use that as I'm getting GRS, just get rid of the hair. Even though parts that they're getting off are still saying it. More vaginal death, lower risk than colonic vaginoplasty. So there are not literally all the risks for me, because I'm not getting a couple of the things done. There is a risk of abdominal laparoscopic procedure, including intra-abdominal organ injury, ileus, and herniation. I have no idea what ileus is, and others, flap failure and stenosis, and unknown long-term outcomes, because this is like only a few years old.
Wow. So it's a new procedure then?
What's the price of it for?
Oh, my 500, about $600 for the plane ticket to San Francisco, and my government health insurance covers the rest. And however much I have to pay to stay in San Francisco and all that. But I'm not. Yeah, it does.
My heart in San Francisco.
Like if I were to get the same thing done, and like it would literally cost me probably $40,000.
I don't know how much she charges for this. It's a whole lot less work, so it'll probably be. And with the way I'm getting it done, it's probably even a whole lot less work, with less recovery time and all that.
That's $40,000. That's $90,000 Canadian.
It's Mr. Ford will pay for it for me. And I will be very happy that
That's
Mr. Ford will be paying for it for me.
Oh my gosh. I hope that we can get universal health care in the US because like again I went back and forth on surgery, and while it's not a huge deal for me, with a method like this, along with the penectomy, basically the taking off of the male genital part, I would absolutely have that done if I could afford it. And as of right now, I can't do it out of pocket, and it's not a huge deal for me because I'm on HRT and all of that. But if I were to be able to pay for it, or if it was covered by universal health insurance, then
That's,
it would become a lot less of a question.
that's socialist talk.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't PRS wasn't even a question at all. Period. Before I learned of it, right, and I had
Yeah.
heard of it. I had heard of the underground, secret menu stuff. I think I mentioned that in a tweet.
Yeah.
But like it's on their website there.
Yeah.
And like I could do without it if I had to.
Yeah.
But now, that has been presented to me as an option, and
Mhm.
it's not going to cost me $500 for a plane ticket. It's going to cost me $600, we'll say, for a plane ticket. Another $600 so that someone can come with me, because that's usually strongly recommended. Another, however much, I'll probably get set up in like a recovery center, and my insurance will pay for that. But I don't think anyone coming with me is going to get set up for that, so they'll need a hotel.
Yeah. Mhm.
And food, any other expenses, and like a month off work.
So it's still expensive, but it's not as expensive as
It's
what
not crippling.
it would
Oh,
be.
and dilators and whatever other medical supplies I need,
So I did have
and so on and so forth.
So I did have a small question then. When it mentions that there was less need for dilation, but not no need, I know that with the traditional method that they invented back in the 1930s, you had to do it 2 times a day for the rest of your life. And I'm kind of wondering like what it would be with this new method.
It doesn't specify.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure that Jenny would say that the need to dilate goes on a lot less. Or actually, anyone who's had it, the need to dilate would go on, would be less needed the longer the longer it's been since you had it.
Yeah.
I think Sandy said they were walking. They were walking within 2 weeks of the new surgery.
Walking is one thing. Busting my butt cleaning tables and toilets is another thing.
Exactly. And that would be like one concern that I would have, because one, I would want to be back to work as soon as possible, and also like I'm really into hiking and travel and other sorts of adventure, and I would want to be back to that as soon as possible. And I know that with the old-fashioned method, you were basically out of commission for 6 to 12 months. Which,
No, not 6 to 12 months. Maybe 6 to 12 weeks at most.
wow, so
I
it's
read
still a lot more.
I read it for that. It's like 2 weeks, a minimum 2 weeks off.
Okay,
So the
then
recovery time isn't nearly
as long.
nearly that bad.
Only 2 weeks. Wow, like
I said minimum.
well, yeah, but I do have a desk job, so
Yeah,
that
yeah, exactly. I don't.
I
This
get
is
that.
assuming that I'm not. Well, okay. Even if I'm not working there, I'm pretty much unsuited for any desk job. So, actually, the new Starbucks in town just put up a job ad They're not even finished building the building. It's going to be one of the biggest Starbucks in Canada. So yeah, they're like I put my resume in there because Starbucks will pay for all this stuff that my government won't.
They do, like, for all of the flaws of Starbucks. One good thing about them is that they are really supportive of trans and non-binary employees, and they will pay for your surgeries and your HRT and things like that, whereas most employers do not. Like,
Yeah, unless you're
work
part
in
of the
an
legal
LGBT
team.
well, pretty much. Like, my
But that-
current job is there, and even they don't pay for that.
Mhm.
Even like that insurance doesn't cover it, so that would be a huge advantage.
Mm.
Hi, Jenny.
Denny,
Hey,
Hey,
the only time I really use Starbucks is for their bathrooms because they're always around where I live, unisex at least, so that's good.
The ones in Utah are mostly gendered, but in most places they are neutral.
yeah, I don't care about that, but like almost every single Starbucks in my country is in a Chapters or Indigo, which is a bookstore. So like we have, for the longest time, the only Starbucks we even had here was was in a bookstore. It's a Canada only brand bookstore. It's called Chapters Indigo.
Wow. That is interesting to think about because I know Starbucks is global. Like, even in Japan, they have like freestanding Starbucks all over the place.
We actually have two standalone Starbucks. Well, one standalone Starbucks and another one opening now. But what I think happened was Chapters Indigo. They have Chapters and Indigo stores. I think they merged. But I think a long time ago, Starbucks was trying to break into Canada, and they said, we want coffee stores and other bookstores because that's a good thing to have. Why don't you move into our bookstores? And they said yes. So I think they worked out some kind of a corporate agreement to get them into Canada. Because let me tell you something here. Starbucks is the second banana. Starbucks will always be the second banana. And so many other donut chains.
What's the first banana?
So many other. It's like the second. It's this. Starbucks is the second tier coffee shop here. Most people won't go
We
to.
don't even have Starbucks.
So
Hortons has to roll up there.
yeah. So we used to have at least. I can think of two. I can think of two coffee chains that used to exist in Canada that are almost gone now. Coffee Time and Country Style.
Nice.
We used to have multiple Country Styles and multiple Coffee Times here in Peterborough. The only Country Style that's left, here's a building with a Dairy Queen.
Really?
And the only Country Style that's left is way out in a hamlet called Fowler's Corners that's not even in the city. And the only reason they're surviving is because they're the only coffee store on the way out of town going to a bunch of places. So they get business out there.
I know that you mentioned Coffee Time. We have that in Michigan too.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
they're
live
not
in
very
Utah
good.
now, but I'm from Michigan, and yeah, we had Coffee Time.
Yeah, so it's all about Tim Hortons. If there was coffee only at McDonald's, McDonald's is actually probably sells more coffee than Starbucks here. And if there was coffee only at McDonald's, they would still lose it.
Wow.
Actually, Tim Hortons changed their coffee supplier, and then McDonald's took up got the coffee supplier when Tim Hortons changed the coffee supplier. But McDonald's coffee tastes nothing like Tim Hortons coffee. And it tastes nothing like old Tim Hortons coffee before they dumped the supplier.
Wow.
It's like just weak and nasty and
Yeah.
and not as good. I've done blind taste tests of it. And I'm like, no, that's Tim's. That's Ranch and Ron's.
What we have Tim's in Michigan, and yeah, they always had the best coffee. They always did, even in Michigan. And I've heard that the ones in Canada are like a lot more put together than the ones that we had in Michigan. But it was still no contest between Dale and Mickey D's.
Oh yeah, exactly. There is a reason why Tim Hortons has dominance in the coffee market in Canada, and it's not because they're the Canadian coffee chain. Even though they are Canadian again, even though they're not owned by a Canadian, it's weird.
They were not owned by a Canadian company. I thought they were.
No, they were bought out again.
I
But
think they merged with Burger King or something.
it was Wendy's.
When
Wendy, that's kind of messed up. Yeah.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Mhm.
The co-CEO of the company is the Tim Hortons CEO before.
Yeah.
Both Wendy's and Tim Hortons are headquartered in Canada, and the owner is Brazilian.
Hmm.
Really. That is
Yeah.
like an international conglomerate, kind of mixed up. A lot of places just, yeah, that's like a sign of today's times with that really international lineup.
And Tim Hortons has pretty much full autonomy to do whatever they want. They are only basically going for, like, they're only basically using the Wendy's supply chain just to basically break out internationally. So
That makes sense. Like
yep.
outside of just Canada and Michigan.
Yep, well, they're in Ohio. I know that. I think they're in Washington, DC. I don't know that state.
Yeah, Pennsylvania
then
has a few.
you
there's
can
some
get
like on the highway, like on like a highway, like in Central PA. Like there's like, I think it's like right next. It's like fused with a Burger King because I think they're both owned. It's not Wendy's, it's Burger King. Because I've never seen them together, but I have seen the only ones I've seen some that are like Burger King and at like gas stations, like Burger King and Tim Hortons fused together in the same gas station on like highways.
is it I think they were owned by Burger King at one point, so it might be a holdover from that.
I don't know. I don't really follow it unless they are. I guess I could just.
Yeah, I think they were
I
owned
don't
by
really
Burger
watch
King. They bought themselves out of Burger King, and then they merged with Wendy's, which it was not an uneven merger. Let me see here.
They still
Blah,
are.
blah, blah, blah.
I
Yes,
don't know, I
they were
remember my
named
dad
after
telling me
a-
about it for some reason because he follows that stuff more than I do.
No, it is
Well-
merged with Burger King.
So with Wendy's, so will like the restaurants like completely combine and just become one?
Yeah,
No,
there is
it
a
was
complete.
like it was
Yeah,
like that
no.
one
Burger
Interesting.
Wendy or Wendy King.
Burger.
Yeah. Or like
Wendy
we
the
have
King.
we have them
Wendy
like
Hortons.
we have them in the same building as Wendy's here. I've never seen one with a Burger King. I've seen them sharing Wendy's.
Or Wendy's Burgers.
Yeah.
I've
Wendy's
seen like
is
I've
my-
seen some
They
like
could call it Wendy's Drag King.
I've seen
Yeah.
like it's so like some like some gas stations often might have like multiple like I've seen like they might have like complete different like that with Dunkin' Donuts or Wendy's or something, even though they're not. I don't know. Maybe it's just it's a big enough gas station to have multiple locations,
I never got a
My
chance. to
my
see
sister
Up the
found the
highway.
one in.
like a rest
Oh.
stop or something for like truckers too, I guess.
I never
Yeah.
got a chance to try Dunkin' Donuts when I visited Utah.
Well, yeah, because I like to eat healthy and I try to stay away from places like that unless I need to. And there was like nothing else around, so I'm sorry that I didn't take you there.
My
You should
my
have brought
sister
something
found one
for
of
it.
the ones in the UK.
Your pardon?
My sister found one of the ones in UK
But
because she lives in Birmingham.
We have
She basically lives in
WS, we
Birmingham,
can-
England.
We have
they
Dungeons
have
and
actually. I was kind of surprised to see one in Berlin when I was there.
Germany.
Yeah.
Ah.
That is interesting.
Europe.
Well, we don't have
okay.
Burger King or Wendy's, so
No.
It's because you have Hungry Jacks.
yeah, we have Hungry Jacks.
Isn't that the same exact thing?
It is.
Let's
It's
see.
exactly the same. The
because
problem
for
was,
some. Yeah.
well, there was another business that already owned the name Burger King in Australia, and they wouldn't sell it to Burger King, so they just created a new name for Australia.
Oh, that reminds me of one story.
And
It's
then
like,
when eventually the other company went bust and they bought the name, they tried to rebrand, and no one wanted it rebranded down here. So
Yeah, because people
They
knew
stay
it
with
was
Hungry Jacks.
the name
Yeah.
stuck.
the
We
name
have
stuck.
we have 20. We have, or sorry, the UK has 20.
Oh, yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
sister
I-
went to the one in the UK and she said it was nothing like Tim Hortons. She worked at Tim Hortons for like a year and a half. She's like,
I
I
don't
just
think
wanted
we
to
have
go
any
back to
Tim
them. She's just like, I wanted to go in the back and tell them how to make Tim Hortons.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
taking Canadian culture and just watering it down. In a
No,
way.
no. She just wanted Tim Hortons and wasn't getting it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't have any Tim Hortons.
Well, let me
I think
see.
there might be like 2 Starbucks in all of Australia.
Wow.
Yeah, but what? But if Tim Hortons was to actually break into Australia, they would like destroy Starbucks.
We only
I
got
hope
7-Elevens
it's
in the
like
last
Utah.
3 years. We never had any 7-Eleven servos.
Let's see.
Really?
We have
Wow.
Yeah,
three.
really.
We have 3 in China, 3 in Mexico, 2 in Spain, 3 in Qatar, 31 in Saudi Arabia, 19 in the UAE, 20 in the UK, 2 in the Philippines, 1 in Oman, 4 in Kuwait, 500 in the United States, and like over 3,000 stores in total.
Mostly
Yeah,
in
and
Canada.
none in
not
Australia.
Mexico.
They don't know.
None down here.
In every town and village and hamlet of like more than a few hundred people, you can be guaranteed
Wow.
to find a Tim Hortons. That's why there's so damn many of them here.
Would they
Mm,
have any in Japan at all?
I don't think they.
It doesn't
I
say
feel
we
like
do.
Japan would love
Yeah.
Tim Hortons.
I'm just.
Also, also Wendy's 5,000 store. Like, oh, they were owned by Wendy's before. Okay. Wait. Yeah, they merged with Wendy's in 1995.
It doesn't
Then
seem to
in
be a Dunkin' Donuts.
2002, they
Yeah, we have
split
Dunkin'
with
Donuts.
Wendy's.
It doesn't seem to be one in Scotland.
And then they merged with Burger King.
Just in England.
Pretty
Yeah.
much solely to use Burger King as a way to get out of Canada.
Right.
So
Okay.
At least in
Fan.
the US, people have a view of it as like this Canadian thing.
Well,
So-
Burger King's pretty. I don't know, big. Like every fast, like American, like fast food I've seen like outside of the U.S. were like either McDonald's, Burger
Pizza Hut.
King,
I don't know what
Pizza
we call
Hut.
Pizza Hut fast food.
Yeah.
and KFC.
Here,
We have
Yeah.
those.
Domino's.
We have A&W.
Yeah,
Domino's.
and W.
Do you
too.
have
I-
Harvey's?
Domino's we have in Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish we had
Yeah, they have
A&W.
too.
I love A&W's root beer.
A&W's pretty good. I've had that in Montreal one time.
I've
Do
seen.
you not have A&W either?
I think we
Huh?
in the state. I think we did, but they went away.
You know how hard it is to get A&W root beer in Australia? It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
I once seen an American cheeseburger. I showed Caden it.
Actually, getting root beer in Australia is fucking hard.
It was
What were
stacked.
you gonna say?
So I showed Caden this American cheeseburger. It was just layer after layer of burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese.
They're headquartered in Kentucky.
Kentucky Fried Chicken?
No, A&W.
Oh.
in Lexington.
Yeah, the
A&W.
burger that you showed me was like.
Oh, that's because
terrible.
actually they're owned by the same like parent company that owns KFC as well.
Are they really?
Really?
Probably.
Yum Brands. There's like this like company called Yum Brands that owns like KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell.
Don't
Yum
think that-
Brands.
We
Let
don't
me
have
see.
Taco Bell either.
Yeah.
Yeah, KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Wing Street, Yum Restaurants International, Yum Restaurants India is what they own.
Wow,
KFC.
some of those
But
I've never
in the
even heard of.
US, has anyone ever seen a Harvey's?
Hardee's?
Harvey's,
Harvey's.
HARVEYS, I think it's.
No.
The
I
more.
believe in
Okay, good.
Michigan, yeah.
I've seen a Harvey Wallbanger.
Do you mean the more? Do you mean the motorbike?
No,
That's
the
a
one-
Harley.
Oh right.
Yeah, like I
Harvey.
believe that we have them at least in Eastern Michigan. But Michigan's pretty much Canada anyway, so
They have my year.
No, you don't.
really,
You poor, poor people.
is it called Hardee's?
Harvey's,
HARVEY?
HARVEY
Oh,
apostrophe
yeah.
S.
I
Only
never even
Har-
thought of that.
Only Harvey that I've ever seen is on Sabrina.
Oh
Oh my God.
man. Okay, from Aura. They just changed. Okay. Yeah. Guys, you guys don't have that.
Unfortunately, no.
You
Harvey.
guys don't
are-
have chicken treats, so screw you.
What
I
is it
think-
like? Is it just a fast food place?
Chicken treat is, yeah.
Harvey's is a burger. It's like just a burger joint, but they really walked the line between actual good food and garbage food.
Why?
So, like, they use actually real cheese on their hamburgers. None of this
Mm.
processed shit.
Wow.
And they're not even terribly a lot more expensive. And if you're ever in Canada, go find a Harvey's. It's better than any of the other fast food chains. They are so much better than like McDonald's or Wendy's or
Mhm.
Burger King or anything
Yeah.
like that.
They should come to the U.S. then.
Yeah, Caesars.
So yeah, well,
Eagles? No.
Have a Nando's instead.
Have a what?
Nando's.
I've heard of them. actually.
Okay.
I've never even heard of that.
Nando's is another chicken restaurant, but
I
they
think
actually
they are in the US, but they're like
Healthy
very
rock.
few.
yeah, that their chicken is
I
way
think the
healthier. than most of the
closest
other
to me
chicken
is in
places.
I think-
Washington D.C.
I think we've got Nando's here in Scotland.
Yeah,
but I think-
there's Nando's. Well, Nando's started in the UK. So
Oh.
Right.
you should have Nando's there.
No, actually, there's
so can
no. There's
anyone
actually some in Baltimore. Oh, that's
can
closer.
anyone guess what the after Tim Hortons? And I'm not talking about just coffee. After Tim Hortons, can anyone take a guess at what the second most numerous fast food place?
Is it
McDonald's?
Harvey's?
No,
McDonald's,
it's
yeah.
not Harvey's. Harvey's has like it's not McDonald's.
Oh, it's not.
KFC.
No, they don't fare too well here.
Really?
Was it?
I'm
was
not
it Har-
surprised, really.
I don't
I'm not
know.
a huge fan of KFC.
I
I
don't
hate
know,
him.
like moose blubber or ice.
It's an
Is it
international
Harvey's?
restaurant. It's an international restaurant.
Mm.
Okay.
IHOP.
Is it
No.
run by Gordon Ramsay?
No.
No, it's fast food. Burger King. Is it Burger King?
no.
Wendy's?
No.
Caesars?
Fudge.
No.
Domino's?
They're not fast food.
Pizza Hut?
Pizza isn't fast food.
Wait. Fudge if I know. What is it?
Subway.
Subway
Ah,
got actually Subway got pretty big.
Everyone always forgets.
Yeah,
Subway.
Subway is everywhere.
Yeah, although
Yeah.
they've been closing a lot of stores down because they gotten way too big, and
Yeah.
people want to buy their sandwiches for $5,
I
but their
can't.
franchisees are like saying we can't sell them for $5, so they went so a lot of them went away because
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah,
wanted to buy them.
their
for $6.
prices are way too much, so I don't really go to them that often.
Yeah,
only
for
time
what
I
they
go to
are, they're
Subway-
kind of garbage. Especially
Sub-
like here where I live, you can do way better than Subway.
I like
Subway-
Subway, and
Sub-
they're the
So
better
many
sub
of
brand here. But here's the thing. There's a town of like every small town has a Subway. Even if they're set up in a convenience store, right?
Mhm.
And it's the only place you have. There's even a town that doesn't have a Tim Hortons but has a Subway.
Wow.
Subway will be the first store to be opened on Mars.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
That's that
I
one.
think the reason why I heard they
They'll
got
have
so
Mars
big
bars and-
is because to like start a Subways is they're a lot cheaper than McDonald's, for example. Like to start one,
Yeah,
Indeed.
become a franchisor. Or
because
franchisee.
there's small operations, right?
Mhm.
They have small operations.
Yeah, that too.
but
Cheaper.
there's more of them.
Yeah, it's just cheaper and easier to open them and from a franchisee.
The problem is, it $15 for a sub and a Coke or a Pepsi. They have Pepsi here. $15
Wow,
for a
that's
sub
more
and a
expensive
Pepsi
than
and
ours.
and like a couple of cookies is way too much. So the only time I ever go to Subway is I think I'm going to start going to Harvey's now because there's one right there, or Wendy's. The only reason I actually ever go to Subway is because it's become a tradition where after I get lasered, there's a Subway right not too far from where I get
Subway.
lasered, so I go to Subway.
Yeah. Oh, that
Okay.
makes sense. That's
I
a
actually
good
tried to go to the
point.
Wendy's the last time, but it was just way too busy.
Yeah.
Um,
Just like everything.
yeah, Wendy's
it's-
actually,
Way.
Wendy's actually has it's a Wendy's, a Tim Hortons, like a bunch of other crap in there. So it was just, I'm like, no,
Right. So
it's
yeah.
it's basically
It's cheaper to go to a Mac cafe than go to a McDonald's than to go to a Subway to get a sub.
I stop at McDonald's on my way in.
Yeah,
Wow.
but is that a Mac? Are most of the McDonald's Mac cafes now in the US and Canada?
They're
I
just
think they
called
always
McDonald's.
have them. Like they always have some.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that-
I mean, most of
yeah.
our ones actually have a whole cafe section where they do cakes and
Yeah, I don't know.
sandwiches.
They don't have that. They just have like the sign there. But
Yeah. and
although
they
I've
have
seen in
coffee
Germany they
too.
had that.
Ours sell
that's-
like some muffins and stuff, but not a
Although-
whole lot.
Although the funny thing is that Germany's the only place where you get a McRib
No, it's not.
for permanent. I guess. That's what I heard, and then I
Has any
tried it.
we have like a jalapeno Wendy's thing. I had it
I have Wendy.
I had it on Friday, and it's like they've just put a whole bunch of extra cheese and bacon and jalapenos on a spicy chicken burger. That was really good. But you can get that shit on fries too. So
It sounds terrible. Like,
it was
I thought it
amazing.
was, really?
Vegemite patties. Oh my
Oh,
god, I
that's
love
so
Vegemite, but
brilliant.
why the hell would you put Vegemite in a meat patty? That's disgusting.
Are you looking at?
I'm looking at the chat.
Oh,
What is
I-
it? Chat.
I think Tim Hortons is doing something like that or something.
that is
Huh.
oh, God.
Oh
you
yes,
guys don't- Vegemite?
there is one fast food pizza joint, and that's Little Caesars because they have
Oh.
a hot and ready walk-in thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And it's like $6 for a pepperoni. Well, it's like
Yeah,
$7 for a
We
pepperoni.
have pizza
I used
places
to
that
get
have
that all
ready-made
the
pizza.
time in
Just
college,
walk in
and
and
it
grab
was
it.
over-
But they've been doing this for like over a decade, and my friends and I used to use these things as currency. We called it the gamer special. We actually went in one day and asked for a gamer special, and they gave us a pepperoni hot and ready. That's how much we ate these things. Now they've
Nice.
gone
Wow.
downhill since they started that. Little Caesars is okay if you order, or at least the one around here is. They're okay if you order something from them, but if you go in and get a hot and ready, you're rolling the dice.
Exactly.
I
Like my friends and I in college did that all the time. And it was usually so good, but sometimes it was terrible.
Yeah.
You know, it made me gain 20 pounds though, so I'm kind of happy that stage of my life came to an end.
Mhm.
But it
Yeah,
was a lot
I've
of fun, and it was usually good.
I've
Well,
gained 13
what-
pounds since I started hormones.
While I'm remembering, guys, Caden wants to invite you all to movie night on Friday in
Mhm.
Rabbit.
Okay. I
If
generally
any of
can't
you would Hmm?
I generally can't do anything after 11 o'clock, maybe a little more.
It's 7 p.m. Utah time.
Okay. So that's
This would be
9.
9 p.m.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is that
Like,
for me?
It's almost 9
Like
o'clock.
2 o'clock in the morning.
It's 9 o'clock for you in the morning.
Is it?
You're 12
Are they
hours ahead of
are
me.
they?
Yeah.
So if it's 9 o'clock for me, it's 12
Oh,
o'clock
okay,
for
they're
you.
2 hours ahead
Or
of
it's
you.
9
Okay.
o'clock for you.
Oh, that might be doable.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
won't guarantee
would
on
love
that
to
because I don't
see
know what I'm
you
doing on
all.
Friday.
So
The movie in question is Beetlejuice.
Big Star.
the biggest star. It's huge.
No, it's not.
It's
It's not the biggest star. UI Scotty is way bigger.
Yeah, well, I was also doing a Trump impression. A terrible one.
A very good one made creepy.
Yeah. Okay, I have got to turn a fan on. Sorry.
I did have a question for all of you. And I'm happy that David's here because it's nice to get a cis person's perspective. But I'm just kind of wondering, like, what, like, first of all, do you think that the stigma of being trans will go away anytime soon? And also, like, what sorts of things do you think would help lessen that stigma a little bit?
I don't think there is a stigma of that around here, so the answer is
Dude.
yes.
Yeah,
And
the stigma of being trans is pretty much disappearing. Same with the stigma of being gay or
Mm.
stigma of being atheist.
Really?
I think will help trans people and gay people in general is if they calm down at the pride parades and start making it so sexual when children are around.
I
generally
would
they
agree.
don't in the parade. Generally they don't in the parade. It's the
usually-
festival afterwards. At least in Toronto.
Yeah, it's the same here.
In
It's
Utah,
pretty
it's not
mild.
sexualized at all. It's not.
Not
at
really.
all.
There's like some sections. It depends on which you go to. Like,
Yeah. Of course, I was in the parade, not watching it. And they
But
mostly
yeah,
focused on the crowd and Trudeau walking at the front of the parade,
Yeah.
not the people in the parade. But it was not really sexualized a whole lot. At the
I guess
worst, you see
someone
a
like San
couple of people
Francisco,
walking
it
around
might be.
the way
naked.
people talk about it's like, mm, I mean, I think I've seen like a few attendees in like leather daddy outfits, but mm,
I mean, I've seen clips of like guys being led on chains. One guy dancing naked with a horse head on his.
where
look.
the heck was this? Like San Francisco, probably.
And
Rio.
I think California.
Yeah. Most
Yeah, that'd be
likely they're not like
California.
the ones in California. They just
Mm.
aren't.
I mean, like I
Maybe-
said, you might see the odd person walking around naked for some reason. I don't know why, and you might see the odd woman going topless, which is legal here, by the way.
yeah.
But it's not really none of even the nudists aren't really being sexual about it. So,
yeah.
Exactly.
Like if I don't know. The last time I was at Pride, the most topless people I saw were like men. Like,
Yeah.
and then like I think it's like where I live, it's like being topless is legal for no matter what. But if you're perceived as a woman, you have to cover your nipples still. So it's like
And that
not-
makes no sense. Like,
That's
if
weird.
an AMAC person can can go around
Yeah.
topless, then why can't I? Like, and I know that even in Utah, like if I said, "Hey, it's okay, I'm non-binary," they wouldn't
Yeah.
buy it.
The thing about
I wonder if
the thing-
I wonder if I said that I'm bigender and I'm a man, if they'd let me get away with it.
the thing about going
Not
topless
Utah.
is in the UK at least, you can go on the hot days. You can go topless in the streets, but once you
Mhm.
start going into shops, you're expected to put your top on. That's man or
And that
woman.
makes sense. And
That's
that
what our
applies to
laws are
men.
here.
The problem with Utah's laws is that they only apply to women and to people perceived as women. Like, so a cis man could go topless and in public, and no one would bat an eye. But if a non-cis man did it, people would lose their minds, and it would probably be a misdemeanor.
I don't
And
think.
so,
I
like-
don't think.
Unless
no,
unless they
I-
had top surgery, then.
I
Well,
don't think. I don't think it's getting
Hmm.
really back the eye. I think there'll be some stares from some people who are quite prudish.
well,
But in a general sense, yeah. But
There are a lot of prudish people.
Yeah,
in
really.
Utah, yes.
especially if you go to like upper class areas, because
See?
Or
going around topless is considered, well, in the UK at least, in Scotland, is considered what you'd call lower class or scum class.
Yeah.
Very few middle class people go around topless. They
Well,
usually have like a vest on.
well,
Yeah, I don't see it. I don't. Yeah, usually a lot of people don't go around topless here. Although there were a few this year in Pride just because it's hot, and there are a few like not just walking around downtown, but there are a few people who do so. You know, when it's 44 fucking degrees Celsius.
exactly.
Ugh.
That's pretty fetching hot.
Yeah, well, it was only actually 31 or 32 degrees Celsius.
With
So
heat index, it was like 40 something.
yeah, with the humidex, it went up to 44C.
Something that you said a minute ago, May, did kind of catch my eyes, and that you said that there was no stigma where you
No.
lived. And I'm just like, that just is so foreign to me.
I wouldn't
Because
say
I live in the most conservative part of the US, and there was an enormous stigma, and that just blows my mind.
yeah, like there's the odd hater, right? There's the
Yeah.
odd transphobe, but generally speaking, and this is kind of the attitude that I prefer people to have. Generally speaking, nobody fucking cares. So,
I
not
would
one
prefer
way or
that
the
to-
other.
My friend was
when I
straight.
transitioned, I was the first trans person to be out in my small town.
Wow.
Wow.
My friend was telling me about Pride Parade last year, and then Verness. Apparently, there was one preacher, and no one paid him any attention.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
bikers started revving up near him, so they drowned him out.
We were warned actually about we were warned about like hate preachers and stuff like that might be showing up and that there might be violence. Never saw one on the parade route. They were pushed out. Of course, there was, you know, at least 500,000 accepting and LGBT people in the crowd alone for Toronto Pride. It was huge
Wow.
because it's like the first time in 2 or 3 years that the weather's actually been good. The other times it's been raining for the parade. So
Scott-
this
Scott
one
Smith
was
there.
Great.
absolutely massive. Now
That's just
Montreal
cool.
is calling for Montreal is saying that they have a bigger pride parade than Toronto.
Really?
And well, I don't know. I might have to agree with them.
Them's Canadian fighting words.
You have no idea about the rivalry between the Montreal Canadiens and the Toronto
I-
Make Me Laugh.
The only knowledge I have of Canada is the fantastic TV series Due South.
I've never even
That
seen
is a
it.
good TV series.
That was a very good TV series. I loved it.
was.
I've never seen it. I
You've never
barely
seen-
even heard it.
Oh, you don't know about your own culture then?
You
Hey,
disappoint.
I watched every episode of the Air Force up until the fucking government shut them down for making fun of the government.
Tell me at least you've seen like Airwolf and Due South and Knight Rider.
Well, let's see. Stargate SG-1 was filmed in Canada,
Yeah,
and I
I've
have
seen-
a
I've
cousin
seen
who
them.
was in it, and I have a cousin who was an extra in it, in SG-1 and in Atlantis a few times. Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda was done in Canada.
Right. Have you seen Due South? I'm sorry. Have you seen Quantum Leap, Airwolf, and Knight Rider?
I've seen
have-
Quantum Leap. My mom used to watch it, and actually, I'm one of the like 3 people on the face of the planet who actually like Captain Archer. So
I did too.
Captain what?
Captain Archer from Star Trek Enterprise. The
Oh yeah, that's right.
I like
prequel-
Archer.
I like Archer as well. I
I
like
was
it.
never a big Star Trek.
So there's
fan.
3 people here, so there must be more than us.
Mhm.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I
Understand,
mean,
no, you lose.
I've
Hmm?
never seen
has anyone seen?
Firefly.
Lex
I haven't
Frost,
seen-
yes.
I haven't
Sorry.
seen that. I don't like that. Has anyone seen Reboot?
I've seen
I have
Reboot.
not.
I have seen Reboot. I have seen it right to the end.
Me
I
too.
see- I've seen the.
What was it like then? Because I
It
haven't
was
seen it.
it was fantastic.
You can find-
Hexadecimal was a great.
Yes,
element.
Hexadecimal was the best character
Right.
in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Can it be a
Yeah.
reboot?
Kathleen Barr,
No,
like Kathleen Barr was Dot Matrix. It was awesome. Caden, it's
I
easy
loved
to
her a lot.
find online. Just go look it up. It's called Reboot.
I loved it a lot.
Actually,
Careful.
Wow.
if you and it's a Canadian, it was done in Vancouver, and it's the first fully, I think it's the first fully CGI
Yeah,
cartoon ever done.
Nice.
the Queen.
And most
Hail.
importantly, if you've watched my if you watched a channel trailer to my gaming channel,
Yeah.
I took the monologue directly from the monologue at the start of the first season. of
Have
Reboot.
you
Nice.
ever seen Code Lyoko?
No. Has
I
anyone
never
ever
seen
seen
Code
Beast Wars or Beasties? It's as it
I
was
have.
sometimes.
I've seen Beast Wars. I actually came up with
Same studio, same people who did Reboot.
nice. I actually came up with a crossover series for Code Lyoko and Reboot.
Nice.
Really?
I did.
What is it?
It was called Code Reboot.
Beast
Could you
Wars
tell a
was
little
the
bit?
last. Beast Wars was the last good Transformers ever made.
It was indeed.
don't believe you.
Have you seen like Ulysses 31 and Jason and the Wood Warriors?
Nope.
Captain
I don't-
Planet.
I've unfortunately seen Captain Planet. I don't watch a lot of TV.
Unfortunately, that was one of my favorite shows as a kid.
I know.
I wasn't a fan of it. I think Teddy Rock is. Let me just look this up.
Captain Planet. He's a
He's a
hero.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. That's brain melting. That.
It's all right,
Well,
me
yeah.
too. We don't have any brains.
Yeah, yes, the Scottish are like the Australians. We all drink too much booze and kill our brains.
Yeah.
We still have
Well-
better beer than the Americans here.
Well, to be fair, a lot of Australians pretty much British in descendants.
Pretty much.
Irish
I mean,
or Scottish mostly,
can I
Yeah.
say something about
which is why we all
Australia?
drink like
I-
fish.
I can't tell the difference between an Australian accent and an English accent. I know there is a difference.
There's
But I
very
think
much a
so.
difference.
It also depends where in Australia you're from.
Really.
I mean, like you guys in the US, there is
Yeah.
variance in our accents across the country. So
Yeah,
Same
same,
here, I
here.
mean-
You can tell a Newfoundlander from a from someone from Nova Scotia. And you can tell someone from Nova Scotia from someone from Ontario. And if you're really perceptive, you can tell someone from Ontario from someone from like Alberta or
So I've
Vancouver-
got to ask
or like,
Jenny.
British
in,
Columbia.
BC.
Jenny, I'm going to ask you. In Australia, do you have names for the folk from different cities in Australia?
Oh, you mean like slang names for people from different
Well,
areas?
because
Generally more so from the states than it is from cities themselves.
in
And
the
honestly,
UK,
Queenslanders are called sandgropers. I can't remember.
Sangro-
Oh my god.
in the UK, you have the UK Newcastle or the Geordies.
Yeah,
London,
Geordie.
London are Cockneys, Scousers are from Liverpool.
I
We
think the
don't do-
only like
The we
regional
we
nicknames in the US I've heard of is like nutmeggers if you're from Connecticut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just all Yanks.
I mean,
We
I,
don't-
yeah, you
Although
are
the
just
funny
all
thing is,
Yanks.
like, that has different like the rest of the world, a Yankee is someone from the US, but in the US it's someone from the north. But in the
Yeah.
north it's someone from New England. And in New England someone from Vermont. But in Vermont it's someone who eats pie for breakfast.
Yep. The only one we have is Newfies. That's really the only one we have.
There's a big culture difference between the UK and
That's the only one we have that's
Nah.
not really derogatory and doesn't involve Quebec.
Quebec. Oh,
Because I
geez.
thought about Quebec, but then it was like that's more like kind of.
I've heard about
offensive.
some nicknames like the
Quebec. I thought it was Quebec.
It's,
Quebec.
It depends what your accent you're speaking it with.
Ah,
I've heard both actually.
I've heard
People
both.
fro- I've known people from Quebec
Actually, I'm wrong.
just
We're
say
the
Quebec.
sandgropers.
in English, but,
Shows you how much I know about our slang. We are called sandgropers. Sorry.
but yeah, like
Um,
if you've never been to Canada though, David, like Quebec is basically a nation into itself in a way. I mean, it's part of Canada, but it basically forms a nation within a united Canada.
It's
I
not
wanted to-
nearly
I
as
wanted-
it's not nearly
I
that
wanted-
bad anymore, Caden. It's not nearly that bad anymore.
I wanted to live in Canada when I was younger.
Oh,
It
it's
is
great up
cool.
here, eh?
I wouldn't mind living. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean-
eh?
I mean, I watched Due South and thought I'm going to be a Mountie.
oh, that's right.
Oh.
Banana benders are Queenslanders.
Yeah. Do you
Mhm.
like they wear that getup? They sometimes end up wearing that getup when they go after people. You got to be real brave to be a Mountie.
Mhm.
For a ride forever.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
You got to be for the FBI. You got to be real brave to be a Mountie.
See, because I'm in WA, we don't use the slang for the other states very much.
Mhm.
Are,
The other states use it. If you're an East Coaster, they use it a lot more than we do.
are
We
your
more make fun of
Mounties
people for what hockey
are
team.
your-
We more
Yeah,
slang
are your-
people for what hockey team they like.
Are your Mounties your actual police force, or are they just an offshoot?
The Mounties are the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and they are our federal police force.
Oh, nice. Did they take cars, or they still ride horses?
They have this Calgary Stampede, like a world class rodeo.
And do they fuck moose?
I think that's people from Winnipeg,
Winnipeg.
or sorry, not from Manitoba, not just Winnipeg.
And are they super polite about taking you down? Sorry, I got
no.
sorry, I got rescued.
Actually,
Jurassic
the-
Man, eh?
the
Hope you don't mind.
Toronto police have a bit of an excessive force problem.
Really, in Canada?
Yeah. Now, when we say a bit of an excessive force problem, we'd mean nothing like the United States.
Oh no, I can imagine that.
But yeah,
Don't-
they can be a little bit excessive at times. So that's a bit of an issue.
I heard that there was like a scandal, not like quite a scandal, but not people talking about, but they should. Is that apparently somehow my like state police got a hold of $4 billion meant for like road repairs, and my state definitely has an issue with structurally deficient bridges and roads,
Ooh.
and they were all meant for like they're like, and they claim, and the police in their defense say this, oh, it's meant to cover like like coverage fees for like municipalities because a lot of like cities, small towns, who are like small enough to can't have their own police force, will just hire, we'll just send money to like the state police to help them out.
Yeah, we do that. Our provincial police are the and this is great because there are so many for our provincial police, and there are so many really derogatory things you can say about them. Just with their name, like we have the Ontario Provincial Police, so
What's
OPP.
the,
You can basically translate that to our favorite is the Ontario Pork Products.
Oh my!
what is Canada's national animal? Is it the reindeer or the caribou or the beaver?
It's the beaver.
Ah,
We are the beaver.
Scotland's is the unicorn.
Nice.
So a
Are you
fictional
serious?
animal is your national animal.
Yeah,
It's like,
those are
well,
those
some
are,
countries have dragons.
those are fictional rain.
We have bald eagles in the U.S.
Yeah, but Canada has the best national animal because we are the beaver, and we always give a damn.
And you make a lovely soup.
Everyone loves a
Beaver
nice
soup,
beaver.
what?
Yeah.
Beavers aren't actually really good.
No.
How do you
kidding
know if
me?
you haven't eaten one?
They're more known for their fur, not for being eaten. I mean, they're
Yeah.
basically a rodent.
Yeah. How much does
So.
beaver fur go for?
I don't think you can get it readily anymore. So I don't know.
No, because they were highly endangered at one point. And
No,
even though
they were never
populations
endangered.
have become-
Maybe in like one remote place or not remote, maybe in like what is it, the
Yeah.
maybe in the Don Valley in the middle of Toronto.
Let me correct myself.
but we-
like, in my part of the U.S., they became
Okay.
endangered.
Like in I forget, it's one of the it's either Alberta, BC, or Manitoba, but
Mhm.
they built a dam that you could see from orbit.
Wow.
Literally, you can see. You can apparently literally see the Beaver Dam. It's in the middle of. It could be in Ontario. I can't remember where it is. But you
So
can
you're
literally see the Beaver Dam from orbit, apparently.
You're saying
Wow.
beavers did a better job at building a dam than humans.
See.
Apparently so. I'm gonna
read it,
Google
guys.
it and see where this was. Oh, it looks like Mia's on it already.
Look at that. It's like the second option. Beaver Dam from space. World's biggest beaver dam can be seen from space. This one is from the UK too.
Really?
This news article. Because
Oh,
this is just like normal to us. Oh my god, that's huge. Yeah, it's in I thought that's where it was. It's in Buffalo Wood National Park in northern northern Alberta.
wow.
So at the southern edge. So let me
Holy crap, that is huge.
I know, eh?
Did that
Say
go
that
into
many
the
times,
chat?
please. So nearly a kilometer long. I would like to point out that at that size, seen from space means that you can see it when you zoom in from a satellite. And I can
Probably.
see my house if I do that. So it's not like somebody's looking out the portal of the space station. Oh, there's a beaver dam, because no, they can't see it from space like that.
It's still a freaking huge beaver dam,
Oh, I
okay?
agree with you. It's a freaking huge beaver dam, but it's not really seen from space. So it's just like, oh, you can see the Great Wall of China from space. No, you can't. You
Do you
actually
think-
can't.
Do you think
Give them like another 100 years, and this thing will probably be bigger than the Great Wall of China.
Do you think once we normalize space travel, that they'll start delivering pizzas to space?
Why not? Just don't get
I-
Uber Eats to do it.
It won't be cheap. No,
If
it
they
won't, they
have
won't
that
deliver them
much
to space.
technology,
They'll have space
people
stations
just
with
be able to-
dominoes on them.
if they had that much
Ew.
technology, if they could just 3D print you a pizza instead of having to ship it all the way from Earth.
I would download
they
a
had that
pizza.
much
Replicator.
If they had that much pizza or stuff, they would just have replicators, and then all the world's problems would be solved.
Pretty
Yeah,
much. That would
replicators.
basically kill scarcity.
I love the whole thing in Star Trek. You develop the replicator so you can replicate anything given enough energy. So they have to develop a type of material that isn't replicatable, so you still have a currency.
Well, no, the Ferengi did that. The Federation never did.
No,
Yeah,
because the Federation
Didn't
didn't care
the
about currency.
Federation became communism?
And they didn't create it, they just found it lying around in space. It's basically space gold.
Yeah.
But
Dilithium, wasn't it?
no.
That's
Well, you can't replicate dilithium either. That's true. You can't replicate.
One
But
thing I would say
you
is
can't really
probably-
use dilithium as currency either. You kind of need that to run
One
your
thing-
replicator.
But my
One
problem
thing-
with that is if matter is energy and you're replicating from energy to any form of matter, you can replicate any form of matter. There is no scientific reason why you couldn't.
One
Exactly.
thing you could
That's true.
One thing maybe a bit more
Exactly.
plausible is you would instead break down the atom or the atoms into what you have. So you would break down say, something into so much carbon, so much plastic, so much glass, and then you could just reshape it for something else.
They actually did that. They actually revealed that they did that on an episode or two of Deep Space. Now here's the thing. I think that I think that it's in the Star Trek lore. It is technically possible that you could build a replicator that could replicate things like dilithium and latinum. Just the replicators weren't advanced enough to replicate, extremely complex
Really?
structures. So the replicators still had limitations into the complexity of what they could actually replicate. So like
Yeah,
things with
they can-
too high
you can
energy
tell-
density, or like they had to actually find antimatter, like they had to actually make antimatter to put into photon torpedoes, because they couldn't just up and replicate antimatter.
Didn't they
So-
also? Didn't they also say that some things were banned? So things like the lithium would be dangerous in the wrong hands, so they limited what could be replicated.
No, well, dilithium is something that's usually pretty easy to get hold of in Star Trek. It's basically Starship gasoline. So unless you're the
Which
Romulans,
by its name would be Li2.
yeah. Unless you're the Romulans have the best, probably more dangerous, but the Romulans have the best energy generation design of
Yeah,
of
artificial black hole.
everyone. Yeah, they use forced
Singularity.
quantum singularities to generate energy somehow. And it's like, okay, the Romulans don't need dilithium.
Wait.
So
Because one thing they've done at Voyager was that they needed stuff for the engines. and they-
deuterium.
And they never replicated it. They had to trade for it.
Yeah, deuterium would actually be very easy to replicate. It was just a
Energy
plot
from-
device.
I think the excuse is, the energy requirement to produce it ends up being more than what the item is worth.
Yeah.
So if you're going to spend more money on producing something than what you can mine it for, then why the hell would you replicate it? You're not
Yeah,
going to make any
exactly.
money out of it.
But if you have something that can generate massive amounts of energy, like a warp reactor, then you can use that for basic stuff.
I mean, we've got absolutely awesome ideas for what we could do if we could harness all the power coming off our star. And Star Trek's almost at that point where they can do that. So why do they have limitations?
They did come
But-
across a Dyson sphere.
Has
Yes,
anyone?
I know.
Has anyone?
Dyson sphere isn't the best way to harness all the energy coming off your star.
Has anyone
It's actually
seen?
feasible though.
No.
Has-
Star
I-
star mining is feasible though, where you actually suck the outer layers of your star off as it's expanding.
Doesn't it
Yeah.
destabilize the star tone because it die quicker?
Yeah, you don't do it to our star. You do it to some star where there's no life.
Yeah, because if something goes wrong, you don't want to basically
Wipe out your
eliminate
home world.
the entire planet's life.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Star Trek movie?
No. And it's not a
Wait,
movie,
wait.
it's a show. I want Captain Worf, damn it. I don't want another Picard. I want Worf.
No, I would like Picard. Picard looks awesome. The previews for it looks great.
I just haven't gotten around to seeing it. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. I have Prime. I'll probably watch it. But
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch it.
I like don't watch a lot of anything. But like
Stop yawning, sorry.
like I have low expectations for I have low
Really?
expectations
expectation.
for literally everything that comes out these days
Is that
because
because it's
almost
Star Trek
everything I've
Discovery?
seen
But Riker
been
is the main
crap.
producer of the show.
Jonathan
well, it's good
Frakes.
that Jonathan
Frakes,
Frakes is the producer.
Yeah.
But unless he has the right to tell the studio to fuck off, then
Mhm.
it
Yeah, well, Studio's been listening to what Patrick Stewart wants because they don't want him to walk. He's basically told them you're going to do it. They've more or less said you're going to let us do it our way or it's not going to happen. So.
well that just give a little that just put a little slightly higher expectation.
And they've also revealed 7 of 9 will be there.
I
Yeah.
heard 7 of 9 will be in it.
Yeah. Jerry
And-
Ryan's in it. Data's in it.
No, I don't think Data is in it. I think that'll
Yes.
be
No,
No,
it's Data. No, it's definitely Data.
as B4.
No, it's not.
It's
So-
B4's. It might be B4's or Laura's body, but it's going to be Data's mind. That's
Wait.
what I'm guessing.
So,
Right,
They-
I-
the question,
Data-
like,
Data-
Definitely
Data-
because it's
Da-
been confirmed that it's Data.
Data pulled a
Right.
Spock with the Enterprise main computer. Okay. And they're just going to have to go and pull him out of the computer and put him into another Sunian type android body. Because that's how fucking androids work. They're terrifying.
Right. So, do you think who do you think else do you think we'll see? LaForge.
We're definitely
Right.
having Riker and
He's producing anything.
Mrs. Riker.
Sorry, who
What
was
is
it?
her
Sorry?
name?
Riker and who?
Mrs. Riker. What was her character's name?
Diana.
Troy?
Yeah, Troy.
Okay.
Diana
Sounds
Troy.
like Troy.
You know, they almost cut her, eh? They almost cut her, but Denise Cosby left the show, and Gates McFadden quit. But they were almost gonna fire.
Yeah, I can't remember what the actress's name is either.
It's a weird one. And then they got Gates McFadden. If only, what's his name? I can't remember his name. If only the dude who played Wesley Crusher quit.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton, that's it.
There's probably a good chance will show up in it at some point.
Hopefully
He,
hopefully they've written him better.
Well, he'll be an adult in it, so
yeah, but
You
he's hopefully not because he's just gonna be Deus Ex Machina. In like full blow.
You,
He's gonna be like,
Hey.
I have time control. Look at me go.
have
Fuck-
you seen
Fuck,
Star
fuck
Trek
Wesley
DS9?
Crusher. In fact, if he shows up, and I'm watching it, I'm just gonna say nothing but shut up, Wesley.
Oh, he's in it.
Of course,
really
Q
think-
is in it.
Do you think since we're seeing 7 of 9, do you think we might see Cisco or some others from DS9?
DS9. That's a good question.
And anyone who's available, I think, was more or less sort of open invites at some point that they're
'Cause I
going to
know,
have.
Okay.
I know Odo will be in the Gamma Quadrant, and
Well, we don't
Cisco.
know how long. We don't know how long after this is. And remember
year.
what Cisco. We don't know what year this is. And remember what Cisco said.
23.99.
Okay. And remember what Cisco said when he left. I could be back tomorrow. I could be back 50 years from now. I could be back yesterday. Okay, I don't know about the 50 years ago, but he said he could be back yesterday because it's the fucking prophets.
Can I just say we are such fucking nerds.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I feel like
Yeah, they-
Whitney and I are like the only non-Trekkies in this
There's
chat.
a
now.
panel interview of some of the actors in it, including Patrick Stewart and oh god, what's Data's name?
Brent Spiner.
Yeah, Brent Spiner. And the new cast, and they're answering questions about it. That's how come I know it is actually Data, because Brent confirmed it that it is
Okay.
actually Data.
Well, good. I
Brent
like
Spiner.
that.
More
People got
knowledgeable
mad
about
when.
this.
Yeah, I like that. So, who are we going to like if it's anyone from DS9? I
They
mean,
could-
it
they
could
could
be
have-
Worf,
they
it
could
could be
have- well, they could-
O'Brien, but they're
well,
not
no,
from
Odo-
DS9.
Odo would be in the. They could easily have like Nog or Kieran Reese.
I would love them to have Nog on.
All
Nog
right,
was, Nog was Wesley done right, apparently.
I think Jake Sisko was more Wesley Dunright.
I never liked Jake Sisko.
I pretty much ignored Jack Sisko.
I was neutral with him.
Do you remember that
And if they,
episode where?
but if they have Nog, you know the other two people they have to have on.
Oh,
They have to have on
Quark,
Quark and I can't believe I'm
Gra-
saying this.
Grand
can't-
Nagus Rom.
Grand Nagus Rom.
Well, at least we'll get to see his half Bajoran daughter. I'm curious as to what that'll actually fucking look like.
Unfortunately, they can't have Grand Nagasek on. Actor passed away.
What would the actor play their mother?
I think she's still around.
Well, anyway, like I said, I would be curious to see what half Bajoran, half Ferengi child looks like.
I don't even want to know.
Big ears.
That'd be just weird.
Got big ears and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of jewelry.
And lots of nose wrinkles, like super nose wrinkles. Both have nose wrinkles. It's gonna be a massive nose wrinkles.
Their whole
All of the
face
nose
will-
wrinkles. Yeah. And there will be hair. Has anyone seen Babylon 5?
I have.
Yes.
I haven't.
I
Okay.
haven't, no.
Babylon
No,
5 is awesome.
it's-
If you haven't
it-
watched it, you're a loser.
Yeah, it's actually it's actually my favorite TV sci-fi. I like it more than Star Trek. I'm sorry.
I laughed at the thing because I played Dragon Age, and they've got Minbari on that as well.
Yeah. So just think of
Minbari.
just think of Delenn, but with Ferengi, like with the Ferengi head shape instead.
Oh,
And lots of nose wrinkles.
before or after
And sharp, pointy teeth.
transformation?
Yeah, before or after the.
After, of course.
After, really?
Yeah, she's got like the hair, like the Minbari are usually bald, right? So she's got
Yeah.
the hair and the Minbari. Just change the Minbari stuff for Ferengi stuff.
Does she lose the head bones or keep them?
She keeps them.
Okay, so where does that come from for the child?
no,
Because
no,
the
you know-
Ferengi or Bajoran have head bones.
The Ferengi was only losing. I think what Jen May is saying is she would have the Ferengi head here at the back, like then the super wrinkled nose. Probably Ferengi in size, but Bajoran in shape.
Which
Yeah.
would be weird.
I
Let's-
think she'd have the sharp teeth.
Let's just not have that and only have
Well, no,
Cork,
why
Rom,
would
and
you have
Nog.
sharp teeth. They only have sharp teeth because they file them.
Do
No, they have sharp teeth, but they don't know. But they file them to make them sharp.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
What do you think the diet would be? You think they eat the Ferengi bugs or the Bajoran?
Yes.
What?
They'll be eating normal food. Like this theoretical person would be eating normal food, and then would just randomly pull out, a dish of like tube grubs and be like, "These are really good,"
Um,
and everyone else will be ew. And they'll do it if that person
I've
exists.
first got to ask, how the hell do alien species breed with each other?
well, if you
I
if
was
you remember
wondering
if you
that too. Like how
if
is
you
biologically
if you
possible?
remember that episode of
I remember the episode, but it's irrelevant to evolution. They still would not be able to breed because they'd be still different species.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Brashear could fix that.
I wonder.
But you sexy
Actually,
echo?
you know who we might see is, I can't remember her name, but we might see the daughter of when did Voyager make it home? Does anyone know the year?
They made it home twice.
When did they make it home? The one that's the time that stuck.
Yeah, 7 years after.
Are you meaning maybe Naomi or the daughter of Balana?
Yeah, I was talking about B'Elanna and Tom Paris's daughter, but she might be too young.
No, well, it's meant to be 20 years later, and that's what 5 years
I
after
thought,
the end.
I thought Picard said 5 years.
15 years older.
I thought Picard said 5 years after Data sacrificed himself.
Which was not very long after Voyager made it home.
But you're right, because he spoke to Admiral Janeway. You're right enough.
Yeah. So it might still be to why am I looking on Wikipedia?
You're gonna see the year Voyager got home.
Yeah. No,
compared to-
I play Star Trek Online. And I play Star Trek Online, and CBS has
console.
basically said that everything that happens in Star Trek Online is canon.
Really?
And Star
Oh.
Trek Online starts 30 years after Voyager got home, I believe.
What console?
Okay.
Um,
2377. What year did they say that this happens in?
2399 is
Oh.
the first year of Star Trek Picard.
So yeah, she'll be old enough to be in it.
Yeah, she'll be early 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we could see the daughter of the House of Torres? Of
Yeah.
Paris? The daughter of the House of Paris.
You could see
Isn't House of Paris a boutique?
I don't know.
Well, at least it'll be better than the House of Quark.
Oh my.
It's just a shame we never got to see Jadzia's and Worf's kids.
I know, Kurtis,
What?
yeah.
And would they have
Oh,
had
no.
a symbiote?
Hmm.
No, they wouldn't have, because symbiotes are chosen at random. So there's no
Yeah, not
guarantee-
all Trill have symbiotes, do they?
yeah, there's no guarantee that the Trill would have been picked.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Just the one.
Does anyone think that we'll see Hugh?
Yes, Hugh's definitely in it.
Hugh is in it?
Yeah, Hugh's in it.
What about Q?
No.
Oh,
Hugh.
Hugh is definitely in it, as in the Borg, who's human.
Are you in it?
Hugh? Are Hugh in it?
You in it?
Yes, that was how they come to name him Hugh.
You?
We get it.
I'm you.
Who are you?
You?
They can use a replicator to make you your
Who
bits.
are you?
You are Hugh.
You,
That's not an answer. Who
oh
are
my
you?
gosh. It's hilarious.
I mean, we're talking different fandoms.
Do you remember Star Trek: The Motion Picture?
Yes.
I do, yeah.
Apparently, V'ger was, in some fan theories, I think, was the creator of the Borg.
Really? Voyager?
Yeah, I think that's been written out in
I think that was I think that was only
a fan thing. Yeah,
I
there was a
think
comic
yeah,
that
Yeah, it's
suggested
not
it,
canon.
but I think they've actually written it out of canon.
well let me look up V'ger. Oh, there's an apostrophe.
Because there's no way V'ger got far enough to get to the Delta Quadrant.
Well, unless you went through a time hole, wormhole of some sort.
V'ger is basically V'ger can do whatever the fuck V'ger wants and nothing can stop V'ger.
Or so they believe.
Apocrypha.
Right, see Q again.
Okay, in the game Star Trek Legacy, it is said V'ger created the Borg to gain the knowledge, by assimilation. The Star Trek Voyager episode Dragon's Teeth seems to contradict the game's storyline, as the character of Redden states to 7 of 9 that his species, the Vodwar, had encountered the Borg 9 centuries prior to his revival, placing the Borg's genesis at least as far back as around the year 1400 AD.
Which,
So-
yeah, that would have been before V'ger, obviously. Because V'ger didn't exist before 1977.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, this is Star Trek, and things always get fucked up in the timeline in Star Trek. It's happened since
Exactly.
the start.
Yeah,
so-
It was a comic book that suggested Vega was the source of it, but the canon within the show is not that. So
But what about? Here's a question that I'm wondering. Oh no, that's just a. Never mind. That's just a. That's a Star Trek Online only thing. Oh, never mind. Just.
Right.
But I want to look up the. I want to look up the stuff for this.
I guess I think I'm gonna have to go and leave you because
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
like
going
I said,
to.
I'm
I'm
still away,
tired.
so gotta go and visit mum and that. So
Gotta be going to. Bye, everyone.
and,
Alright,
and I
bye.
accused my mum of misgendering people the other day, and she was actually when she did what I accused her of, she was actually talking about purple.
Oh, I didn't even notice
so
it. I didn't even notice
I
it.
did,
because
I did,
kinda
but I
know-
didn't realize who she was talking about. So
Who was she talking about?
purple.
Mm.
Okay. Still
And
nobody.
given how purple identifies, it's almost impossible to misgender purple.
It's not that
Right.
easy to
What was it
misgender me
about?
either.
I know, so
Okay.
but I still gave her hell for it because she should have been more bloody diplomatic.
Yeah,
Apparently,
but
So-
V'ger went through a
So
wormhole.
in Alpha Canon, still nobody knows literally anything about the whale probe. That's what I was looking up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shouldn't be probing whales anyway.
Okay.
These aliens and all their probing. What's wrong with them?
You know what I
Well, what-
mean.
What species would you be from Star Trek?
Oh, if you got to choose to be a species.
I would
Um,
probably be a Ferengi, honestly.
There's really only one answer here that you can really. Well, there's a few answers that you can use. They're all the ridiculous races. I'm gonna say a Q.
She
Okay.
would be awesome.
You could also choose a prophet, which Q doesn't want to have anything to do with the prophets. I think they'd kick Q's ass. You could also choose to be whatever the fuck Nagilum is, or you could choose to be an Organian. They're real fun. They're real boring, but they're real
Yeah, but
fun. Because Q wouldn't mess with the Organians either, because they might kick his ass.
I'm curious, would any of you pick human? Because human is a possibility.
I would pick human after picking Q. I would pick
I'd
Q
pick
because
having their technology.
I would pick Q because then I could be a human anyways. But just still a
Yeah,
Q.
you can be whatever you want if you're a Q. So
What do you-
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean that's I
that
mean
would
that's
be like the ultimate species for a non-binary person, I think.
Fuck
I
you.
mean I mean
you
if
can be whatever you wanted to be on that day.
if you want to put aside if you want to put aside stupid races like the Q, then I might say one of the various shape changing races.
Yeah, a
Mhm.
shape changing
That
race would be
makes
cool.
sense.
So like I don't know if I'd really want to be a changeling, but there are other shapes.
Yeah, but not all changelings stay part of the group.
Yeah, I'm too
Eh,
I'm
what
I'm
What
too
are
much
they
of an
called?
individual
What is
for
Odo's
them.
race actually called?
Changelings.
No,
No, that's literally their name. That's literally
Founders.
the name
That's
of the
it.
race.
Yeah, founders.
Isn't
Oh,
there
yeah,
like
the-
a in Star Trek that completely lacks gender to begin with?
There are a couple in I don't know if they're alpha canon, but there are a few. There are
There's a
also a
species-
few there are also a few both gender ones.
Yeah, and there's a couple of species that have 3 genders.
Yep.
Mhm.
There's one species had 3 genders in Enterprise. There was one species that had no genders in Star Trek Next Generation, which Riker fell in love with one. Don't know if you've
Oh
seen
yeah,
that.
there is that one.
Wow.
Yep, there is a completely age but they're not
I-
biologically agender. They are just culturally.
Wow. So
you're
that
right there.
could happen to humans at some point.
But
I feel
but
like
but they're not no they're not good agender because they force it on people who are who
who
become
are gender-
they force being agender on so it's kind of like the reverse
Yeah,
of how it
that's
can be
gender.
now.
That's
And I
gender.
actually yelled at someone on Twitter for like being like, we're not let's all not or let's have cis people stop using gendered pronouns. And I'm like, no, let's
Yeah,
not do that.
no,
Please don't do
no, I
that.
don't believe forcing it on people. No.
Exactly. So there's that.
What about all that ridiculous thing about
What?
I mean, I
He's
think
trying
Flock
to
said there
sue
was
those
ones with like
people
5 or
about,
6 genders.
a Brazilian?
Hmm?
Oh, that trans woman who's trying to sue that company that won't give her a Brazilian.
Oh, that
Oh,
one
right.
case. David told me about that today. and I
That's
thought-
I mean I did my nut at Dusty about it because he was doing
Dusty.
arguing outrage politics instead of actual
No,
equality.
I
I
kind
think
of like
I only heard about the short version of this from David earlier today, so I'm wondering like,
Thi-
what is
This
case
particular
about?
trans
And what-
person always likes to kick up shit like this, and yeah,
Oh my god.
goes out of her way to do crap like this.
And,
So
oh,
what
and
is she
that-
trying to do,
and
basically?
they want to host a pool party for 12 to 24-year-olds without parents or guardians.
What?
They're all allowed to go around topless.
oh
That's
whatever.
not-
That's
Yeah, no, this person's a right royal.
We-
that's
we-
creepy as heck.
on Sunday we actually had our trans swim night and tops were optional. So
Yes, but you're all adults. That's
Well,
no,
different.
we had people from our youth group.
Oh, okay.
I
But
mean,
it's like
But
we
what would
have
they
we had a lot of trans mask people. So it's to accommodate trans mask.
Sorry.
yeah, I guess they're within confines of like, well, like gendered norms. It's like,
I mean, we're all looking at from it like we either have or will have boobs that are
yeah, it's like,
like, but no one. I just don't think anyone just thought of the what about the trans dudes? Because unfortunately everyone forgets the trans dudes. So
People always do, and non-binary people as well.
yeah,
It's like
non-binary
because a lot of
and
the
trans guys
like
get left
a lot
out.
of like transphobic discourse is like very transmisogynistic in nature, so it's like really
Like,
easy to ignore them based on like not to say that trans men have it easier. This is like not a case. This is definitely not saying it. It's just
they have
some
some things are easier
good
for them. Sometimes
bad
are
publicity isn't always good. Like
well,
no matter how you slice it, transphobia is bad no matter where you're coming from.
exactly.
and
It-
also though,
Maskblade said it really well. He said
Yeah.
that I think it was on Diana's channel actually. But Maskblade said it really well. He said that like they get the secondhand effects from
exactly.
trans misogyny, right?
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
people are targeting when like religious bigots are targeting trans women with their bullshit, right? They're not
Mhm.
necessarily, they don't even know about trans dudes usually, or they're not necessarily thinking about trans dudes, but they still get
non-binary.
the or they're like trying to get women out of and non-binary feminine presenting people and all that out of the bathroom, out of the women's bathrooms, but then they're forcing trans men into the women's bathrooms. So
The thing about that
Exactly.
is,
And the thing is like as an agender person, you know, I often wonder, and I'm not trying to say that trans women have it better. I am not saying that. I'm not pushing that at all. But is it? But my question is, I know that being constantly dumped on by society is bad, but also having people not even know that you exist
Mhm.
is also bad. Like at least in my own experience, like whereas trans women are made like the butts of like jokes and transphobic conspiracies and things like that. People like me are not even
I
believed
mean,
to exist.
some bigots, some people who have like who they're not outright bigots, but they have like they've only heard like the bigoted stuff, and their only representation is gonna be someone like
Mhm.
Caitlyn Jenner, whomst. Even
thing
this
is
one
that-
book, even this one book I bought, kind of made fun of it in a way. Or like
cross-gender
the
fun.
thing about this
said
trans
that
thing in the bathroom thing is, I remember the day it started because the politicians were going on about it. And I remember thinking that they're just trying to divert attention from something else they were doing at the time.
Oh, probably. That
Mhm.
sounds that sounds like politics.
Indeed.
Yeah, which is all
Yeah,
this is.
I can remember something else was going on at the time.
Anyway,
I
I'm
can't remember
gone. Love you guys. Have a great
bye.
show.
Bye.
Goodbye
Bye.
then.
I
I
will.
was saying that
I'll see you guys when I'm back in Perth, and I may actually do a stream on Thursday morning, Wednesday night, something like that. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. I'll figure out what we're
Alright.
doing for next show, I guess. It'll be okay, probably
Yeah.
otherwise.
No worries.
Bye.
Gotcha. Bye.
So at the same times they were on about, trying in the bathroom, something else was going on. And I can't remember what it was, but I figured they were just trying to divert attention from something they were doing
Yeah.
by targeting trans. Because before then it was never an issue, never a consideration.
Yeah.
And now that it is, you're hearing about these stories about, trans woman attacks child in the bathroom, or
That never. If anything, it's more like I hear a bunch of like conservative men or priests molesting children, not like
Exactly. It's not
But-
trans
your child's
people
more
doing it
child's safer in the
for the most part.
bathroom than in like than with actual dangerous people. And even then, like, even if you factor in like I hear like some sort of like conservative politician get in trouble for being a creep in the bathroom, and they're all cis men.
Yeah. Thing is,
Yep.
it's the difference between hearing about forest fires and house fires. How many forest fires do you know about? Because they're all deeply covered compared to how many house fires you know about, because they're so common that they hardly ever get covered.
Right, because things that are real tend to get more media
Yeah.
attention. Like there was a saying in journalism, if it bleeds, it leads. And that's something that these media companies kind of thrive on, in that they focus on those salacious, juicy stories. And they
Mhm.
leave the more common ones.
And there's
And so
also
that the juicy stuff is actually more common.
the stuff about leaving stuff out just to give the wrong impression. I remember the Young Turks did this. This was
Mhm.
years ago during. I'm saying times that during TV networks have altered or stopped clips to give the wrong impression. Like the Young Turks, this was during the riots. They had
Mhm.
one black girl saying, don't don't burn our shit, don't destroy our house, don't destroy that. Our streets don't burn here. They're praising like, oh, such a strong woman. What they didn't show was what she said afterwards, which was take that shit to the Suburbans, burn their shit, which changes the entire context of her character.
Right, exactly. But they just left it out because it wasn't what fit their narrative at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that happens far too much in public discourse.
Mm.
Like the narrative fitting stuff that is.
I mean, everyone
Yeah, and
gets.
I kind of fight against that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing
I
about the
try-
narrative is that everyone seems to get lumped together with the worst of it. If you take, say, quote unquote TERFs, you get the two types: the actual man haters who don't want to see reason, don't like trans women, or is it trans? Which one's the MTFs? Is that trans women or trans men?
MTF
Trans
is
women.
twins.
I
Guys,
call them androphobes. I
Right.
call them
So
androphobes.
Pretty
I
much,
see
yeah. They
the
hate
one group
anything
that
penis.
we say TERFs, for example, you get the one group who
Mhm.
are man haters who hate trans women with full stop without any explanation. And then you get the other women who are genuinely frightened by the media, who if you talk to them, explain to them, would probably be more alright. That's what a few folk
Yeah.
have done. They've talked to a lot of women and
Oh,
eased their
yeah,
fears.
you're in like Turf Central, aren't you?
Yeah, he's from the UK, so he's like he has a lot of experience with toast discourse in his local media and things like that. And
It's the same.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's the same. It's the same also with a few Trump supporters as well. You do get the ones that are racist, but you get the ones that look at it from a business point of view.
mhm,
And
Yeah.
some have voted for Trump to help their business,
mhm,
and some have had genuine concerns about border security, blah blah blah, and
yeah,
stuff to
and then
be
more
fed by the
sway.
media. So
But it's like,
for every group, there's always more subgroups in
Yep. Yeah,
exactly.
there are probably a number of different subgroups of some that are actually legitimate turfs. A lot of them aren't even turfs. We call them turfs because they use rhetoric, but they're not
Thing
feminist.
is like
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Still not trans exclusionary radical feminist.
They're
Yeah.
just genuinely worried. They're just genuinely worried about the stuff they read or been told by the media or see online.
it's like
Yep.
from what I hear, like a lot of turfs try to like recruit like vulnerable women in like some spaces because one part of turf rhetoric is that men and women are completely different beings,
Mhm,
species even. Like and
mhm,
and for some women that's a source of comfort in a way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, in some ways it's basically saying that men and women can't really get along in some ways. And and that's and the mere
Mhm.
existence of trans people, especially trans women, trans feminine people, put that out of whack, so to speak. And this is all wrong, by the way. So if anyone thinks I'm being sympathetic towards them, they have the wrong idea. But it's, I mean, to like, I think the best way to attack someone is to understand why they're saying it in a way.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's why I'm for you giving platforms to people with different opinions.
Indeed.
Oh yeah,
like
I plan on having. Now she's changed her tune quite a bit, but I plan on having one of the absolute worst turfy, not the worst, but one of the absolute worst turfy trans people I have
Nice.
ever encountered on Nuanced Nonsense some week in the future. That'll need a bit of
Have
planning.
you have
I
you
mean,
ever
not
heard?
nice that she's trophy, but nice that you're willing to debate her and to
Have
talk
you
to her.
ever?
Well, I don't even know if it's going to be a debate because I don't know how much Beth's views have changed, and they've changed quite a bit, and she hasn't
Yeah, I've
even
heard
been.
about it change. But
I
like,
She hasn't
went out
even.
of her way to misgender me more than once. So
Oh yeah, she's done that. She said some really horrible things to me, but I like her for some. I don't know why.
I think she's a nice
like-
person.
It's like
outside
if
of
she
the whole,
drops.
like,
Yeah,
radical feminism.
if I said she was
She's
like
a
more
good
true
person.
scum than turf, because there's a, I mean,
Yeah.
they're similar in some ways, but they're, I mean,
There
it's
Oh
was-
no,
like,
she was
there was
turfy.
a
She
lot of
was extremely
overlap.
turfy.
Yeah.
And
I
then
mean-
she dropped the turfiness, but was still very true scum.
ah,
And
I
now
see.
and now
Hmm.
she's starting to like when I posted my stuff about having bottom surgery, she came to me and she's like, "Yay, I'm happy, blah 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 blah," right? And I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm going for, basically I'm keeping my dick." She didn't reply to me. I think I might have broke her. But
Yeah.
she didn't
she
be
was-
like, she wasn't like, "Well, you're not trans" or anything like that to me this
Well,
time. So,
okay.
and I've
No,
told her I
like-
wanted that. I just never knew that it, that was
Yeah.
a few months ago before I learned about it. So, and I like to think I'm partially responsible for her coming around because even since our first couple of encounters, she's like she's showed up in my
Yeah.
in my tweets. So I don't know. Maybe
Like-
I'm part of her. Maybe because I'm outside of going a little overboard, and obviously intentionally. The odd time I'm pretty normy. So maybe I'm bringing her. And the first thing she basically said to me was, "You're too old to transition. You'll never pass."
Oh my gosh, that's messed up. These people love to say that. I used to have one of the big trans toasts as my mutual, Fiona Orlando. And this was before she was like Willie Toffee, when she was just kind of like anti SJW, and then she became like full on like Kathy Brennan level toast. But she basically says that, if you transition after 20, you can't pass. And even if you do pass, you're still a man. And just all of that. And it just makes no sense whatsoever. And she
I
completely
can't.
erases people like me, like non-binary people who aren't trans femme or trans mask, but just in the middle.
I think the
I
oldest
can't-
person we ever seen transition was 93, Caden.
I kind of like. I think I kind of pass a little better than Beth, even though I haven't been on hormones that long. Aside from my lack of a chest, I think I might actually pass a little bit better than her, and she's been on for a while. So
I don't play those games. I don't compare who passes because passing is so conditional, and it's also it's based on appearance. And the last thing that I'm going to do as a non-woman is to judge a woman's appearance.
Yeah,
And
it's like,
maybe it's different for you, Maeve, because you do identify
Yeah.
as female, but I don't.
but
And-
here's the here's the thing. She was attacking me for my ability to pass.
Well,
The thing is with
point, yeah,
passing
good
is
point.
that sometimes people get it, some people don't.
Yeah.
Usually some people try to be deliberately obtuse in a way.
And the
Like
thing
it's
that
like hate thirsting in a way for you.
and the
But
thing that's most based on it is location at
Yeah.
the end of the day. Like it's
Well,
not even about how you physically look, it's location. Someone who
location.
passes someone who passes in San Francisco might not pass in St. George, Utah.
I mean, okay, so Jenny and I do basically a weekly stream
Mhm.
on on a channel called End the Conspiracy. And we did one on some people doing a transvestigation on Steve Irwin.
Oh my
Um, and Jenny and I were basically just laughing the whole time at the thing.
Steve Owen.
Jenny was legitimately pissed because she's Australian.
And he
She's
died.
Australian. Exactly. That's why she's genuinely pissed. But like, we were. So, anyways, this I can't even remember his name, which is probably good. Him and his like followers came after us, and some of them legitimately are like, "Is that a man or a woman?" Some of them
Wow.
legitimately thought that I was a woman, and they are, some of them thought I was a cis woman, and they're the people who watch people doing transvestigation.
Wow. You
So,
passed really well, May. I just want to say that.
thank you.
You passed better than I do, that's for sure.
I don't. I don't.
Most people say that. I'm just like, if I asked, it would just be, I don't know. Sometimes it depends on what I wear, or how. I don't know. I don't really. I think I've been getting called like male code terms less often, but if I do get, it's usually like my voice that gives it away.
Yeah, it's not how you look because you look 100 and I'm not trying to misgender you because I know that you're non-binary. I know
Yeah,
that
it's fine. It's just
but
one of.
you look 100% female to me.
Mhm.
Like I would never have even guessed that you were trans.
Yeah.
And honestly, with
Maybe.
clocking and all that, it just takes time. Like it took me years before I stopped hearing male coded tones. And
Anyway, that's time for bed for me. I'm going to say goodnight.
Good
night.
night.
All right. Good night. I mean, I don't know. Like when I went for a swim last night, and it was horribly planned. I didn't have a plastic bag. I didn't have a towel, so I ended up just staying in my
Mhm.
in my swimsuit, and just putting a shirt over
Mhm.
it. And then I almost didn't get home,
Mhm.
but like I was getting both on my way home because I had a bit of a walk because the bus service here is.
Yeah. How does it
Um,
make you feel to get both?
I was getting both and I was feeling pretty good.
Nice.
But
Yeah, sometimes I usually get like a kick out of it, but then I also get like a little annoyed. I'm just like, especially if I think I look very feminine that day.
Yeah.
Like if I'm wearing like pants and a blouse, I don't really. I think I look more neutral, but I don't know about
Yeah.
my face though, because it's like I guess before it wasn't because like before I got the brows shaped, it
Yeah.
was different. Like apparently, some someone saying like, "Oh, if you got your brows shaped, you would look more feminine." I'm just like, okay, I tried it,
someone
and
told me that too.
Yeah, like
And I'm
that's
like,
just
screw
so
that.
cool to do that.
someone did that, and I did, and I'm just like, huh, well,
My response was I have no interest in doing that. I like my rest.
I did, and just
Like
like, whatever. It's
one
But
thing that
at first I was like, whatever, but I did, and it's actually I kind of like it look better because I guess
nice.
but
I think it's perfect.
what
But
I
what
will
happens
say
is
is that my face is a lot more masculine than the on the camera.
yeah,
So
yeah, camera
I
could distort things.
yeah.
Like
Um yeah, I'm a lot more um I can be a lot more mask looking than I appear, but you know, I was dressed in a plain black woman's top and a hat, and men's swimming shorts. So, well, board
Yeah,
shorts,
you pass
anyways.
as both, which is like NB Land High Five.
Yeah.
One thing that happened to me, and I had two things that I wanted to mention. One is that before I transitioned, I had a really prominent brow ridge, and as I've been on HRT for almost 5 years, it's just gradually disappeared, and now it's gone. And
Yeah.
I at first I thought it was just like fat redistribution, but feeling the bone, the actual bone structure has changed.
That's
And
interesting.
HRT can do wonders to someone's body as long as you're on it for years.
Yeah.
Like that was my most dysphoric feature, and I was thinking that I would need to like have FFS to get rid of it, and now it just went away on its own. So it's like that source of dysphoria is now gone. And also,
Okay.
like, one thing that people often do in the trans community that I don't complain about really much because I don't want to confuse people, but it's kind of a pet peeve of mine is when people look at my journey and they see that I started off AMAB. I mean, intersex, but still AMAB, and that I've transitioned in a feminizing way, and they consider me as basically a trans woman, essentially a trans woman, trans feminine, like, and they push me toward that opposite binary. And I don't want to get on my trans siblings, but it happens all the time, and it gives me dysphoria because it's like I didn't transition to become the opposite binary. I transitioned to be myself.
Hmm.
And at the end of the day, I'm an agender person. My name's Kaden. I'm agender. I'm not basically a woman. Like, and the thing is that people like this will have no problem recognizing that feminine presenting AFAB, agender people are not basically women. But yet they treat me as basically a woman, which is dysphoric for me in the same way that it is for them. So, like, when we talked about, you know, like trans women getting the brunt of bad treatment, and someone said like trans women and feminine presenting people, like, I mean, if a feminine presenting person identifies with being a woman to an extent, that's one thing. But when it comes to someone like me, it's just like I'm being lumped in to a group that I'm not part of. And also that like agender people are probably one of the most erased groups in the trans community. I mean, trans guys get erased, but agender people and like, you know, purely non-binary. Well, I don't like the term purely non-binary, but you know, non-aligned, non-binary people are probably like the most erased. Like, no one knows that we exist, and so like the main issue that I deal with is not trans misogyny. It's totally like
Yeah.
not being mentioned at all. It's erasure.
I have been speaking a lot for obvious reasons
Mhm,
for months now, and I'm going to keep doing it.
mhm,
But you know, my thing is people is I guess AMAB people who are trans and are either don't want well I people who can't afford who don't have access to surgery
mhm.
are included in this. But you
Yeah.
know, I've been very much advocating for you know, those of us who don't wish to have any bottom surgery, or I guess now in the last few days since I found it, those of us who are having a bottom surgery, where I love saying this so much. Penis preserving. Actually, I'm not going to say that. Non-binary girl dick preserving bottom surgery.
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say it like that. Okay. So that has been my that's been what I've been going on about for the last little while, and that's what actually got me in another, Twitter dumpster fire with Beth there, where she's like, "You really riled up the turfs," and I'm like, "Good." And then
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
and then you know um yeah, she thought uh then she thought like my voice was suspect.
Oh.
Or she's like, your voice is probably suspect because I'm a big person, right? I'm
Yeah.
like 250 pounds and I'm 6 foot.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
but I've done literally no voice training.
Your voice is fine, mate.
So
Your voice. Is
I
fine.
know my voice is NB voice. I used to hate it,
Mhm.
now I love it.
I've had people tell me that my voice like wasn't passable enough, and that I sound like a non-binary Elmo Fudd, and I'm like, I can live with that. Like my voice is fine. And again, I'm
Your
6
voice
foot.
is great.
Why would
Mhm.
it sound like I'm, 5 feet tall anyway? But what I was going to ask you about is like, were you starting to talk about the Neville Tuck thing, but then kind of got sidetracked a bit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Normalized girl dick, never talk.
Yeah.
Girl dick for life, be yourself. All hashtags. Look it up. One of them really pissed off the turfs. So
Yeah. Like the reason why I do tuck, and I fully support your movement completely. I'm 100% behind you. The reason I tuck is that having any kind of a male bulge would give me severe dysphoria. Like simply having it attached to me at this point is not dysphoric, but having that kind of a bulge or having it show is like a knife in the heart. It's like being cut by 1,000, quickly pins or something. Like it's discomfort, and it's just a brain-based kind of discomfort. It's not a social discomfort.
yeah,
So
that's the only kind of
Yeah.
I need
like,
to do it.
when
And
I say stuff like that, you can append unless you want to onto that, right? I'm not saying that people shouldn't talk. I'm saying that if you don't want to talk, don't do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
that
saying,
makes sense. And I tend
right?
to take things literally, so yeah.
So
It's like we're talking about like voice. I think voice came up, but it's like I still hate it because it's like so deep. Maybe it is like now, but now I'm trying to modulate with head voice now, just thinking about it. It's on and off. Like I guess I didn't really feel too bad today. Like I think like before the weekend, I was having like some big dysphoria moments, like around Friday, I guess. I think I
Yeah.
told you about it, but then like after the weekend, I seem to have gotten better, and but the voice I think so far is the most thing I get dysphoric about. If I
Yeah.
do, like it comes on and off, but even then, just saying like I think the most thing is just mostly social, really. Although
Yeah.
sometimes I worry about hairline, but usually it's the voice that gets me.
I mean, I usually I talk like this more than I talk, and I'm actually trying to talk like this right now. How I
Yeah.
talk is very situational, but and I don't try to talk any one way or another.
Yeah.
Right? It's all based on my situation and
Mhm.
the environment and everything.
That makes sense.
So I talk like I talk like this a lot, and it used to really annoy me. So
Really? Well,
but
I've had.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I've had trans friends who have undergone voice training, and they went from sounding very masculine to sounding very feminine. And what they told me is that it takes time, like to get from a male voice or a male sounding voice to a female sounding voice will take at least a year of training and practice and things like that.
Yeah,
It
it's
takes
very difficult, and
with
it takes a
yourself.
lot of work.
Yeah,
Also,
it
my
is. I
voice
mean, I feel like you can get by with like Headspace, especially not Headspace, Head Voice, and it
Mhm.
usually goes like to like a Dragon's Voice, which is actually quite fine for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, any like anything to like do look more fun presenting, I feel like at worst is a compromise, and at best something I genuinely want to
Mhm.
do. But I always hated my voice, even. But I thought it was just like a normal insecurity thing.
Mhm.
Sure, recordings may sound distorted, but sometimes I was just like, remember having conversations like, and
Yeah.
and just like, and if I catch myself, I'm just like, oh, is that what I sound like? I always hated
Yeah.
it.
I I had to go through a lot of therapy and a lot of really hard work to learn to love my voice. And as you can probably tell, I have a speech impediment. I my voice is androgynous. It's awkward in a lot of ways. It used to be the number one insecurity that I had. You know, as a kid, people made fun of the way that I talked. Even as an adult, some people make fun of the way I talk. I had to learn to love my voice, and I just went from seeing it as this affliction that I'm cursed with, to just a really cool way that I sound, and it's unique, and it's me. Like
Yeah, I
I had a
mean,
friend
I
tell
wouldn't
me
have you
that.
any other way, Caden. Your voice is adorable.
Thank you. And I've learned to see it as adorable, but it took me a long time. Like one person finally told me, just think of it like an accent that only you have. Like you
Mhm.
just have a Canadian accent, and I'm like, I can roll with that. So I really appreciate that, like comments like that. But it took a lot of hard work to get to love my voice. And for you, Brittany, I feel like it'll be the same.
Mhm.
You can do voice training, but
I feel like I would have
that
to. I mean,
aside, learn to love
a-
what you have as
any
well.
DIY I had is just the result of me just really like sticking to it, and it is taking like a little bit of like mental effort right now. Because
Hmm.
if I don't do anything, it just sounds like this, and it's really deep, and I
Yeah,
hate it.
That's
I
where
know.
I go.
I
Um,
know.
but I
Like
go up and down naturally. But
to me, when I hear my own voice, I think it sounds like a male voice. Like I hear a man, but I know that other people listening to me don't hear my voice as a man's voice. And that's something that I've had to kind of internalize. And like my voice changes in pitch too. Like when I'm talking with friends who are feminine and who are talking about something exciting, oh my gosh, I totally this and get way up there. But when I'm talking business or when I'm like giving a presentation at work, my voice kind of goes down a little bit and I want to sound more authoritative. So it just everyone has that kind of vocal range.
Hmm.
yeah,
When but the goal is for at least for a non-binary person is to get your baseline range in that androgynous range. Since androgynous can pass you as anything.
yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, I wouldn't like if my voice was really a lot higher pitched, I wouldn't care. Um,
Yeah,
like if I had, you know, well up into the normal female range,
yeah.
I I wouldn't care.
Mhm.
I don't know if it would make me dysphoric if it was way down into the male range. But it would be annoying on other levels.
Mhm.
um, right? Like there's a difference between being I've come to understand and realize that there's a difference between actual dysphoria and just being annoyed at something.
Yeah.
Right?
There was a
So
big difference. Like keep going.
Oh, so
Or were
I'm
you done?
annoyed at my body hair. I'm not,
Yeah.
and even my facial hair. Um, I'm annoyed with it, but it's never made me dysphoric. I just,
And I know
if I don't shave for a few days, I just get annoyed. I've taken it for being I've mistaken it for being dysphoric a bit,
but it's
but
not.
then but it's like,
Mm.
no, that's not actually dysphoria. I'm just annoyed with it.
Like,
I
Um,
feel I think I feel that with
I
like
have the same
stubble
thing.
in general, but I guess if mm, maybe there's like a little bit of like social dysphoria coming in play, because if I feel like that if I have it, people would clock me as a man and I wouldn't. But then I'm just like, that's the thing at worst that could happen. But usually I'm just annoyed with it because it just feels gross
Yeah.
yeah,
and rough. I
I
don't like
have
Like,
the
the way it feels.
I have the fortunate situation
uh,
of working with a cis woman who has more facial hair than I have
yeah,
since at least two laser treatment ago.
I-
So it's like, yeah, she could grow a full goatee if she wanted. It'd take a while, but she could grow it.
and like that's something that I had to learn as well, because like there were things about me, pre-transition that gave me like gender dysphoria, like my brow ridge, facial hair, penis, all of that gave me dysphoria. But there are things about my body that I don't like, but that are not dysphoria. Like I don't like how square my jaw is, but that's like a lot of cis women have jaws like mine, so it's not dysphoria. It's just an annoyance. I don't
Yeah.
like the little bit of belly fat that I have that won't go away. That's not dysphoria, and everyone has those types of body struggles.
Yeah,
Every, without exception. So
Oh,
it
yeah.
helped to separate dysphoria from the things that everyone deals with. Because yeah, they're really different.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I almost have no dysphoria. I don't feel chest dysphoria. I used to feel chest dysphoria pretty
I
bad.
had some more.
but-
It's still sometimes it comes back with a vengeance, but not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
Like I don't feel the need to have breast forms anymore.
yeah.
for
Like getting
me.
rid of those is
It's
actually good because it doesn't. I mean, I would
Yeah.
like to be bigger, but of
A lot
course
of
I'm
women-
early enough, so
you're still
Yeah,
growing.
for me to be time.
it may happen. And the thing is that like I can honestly say this about myself, and I've been doing a lot of soul searching over this, like over the past, month or so. But I no longer experience dysphoria, except for social dysphoria. Like my transition has changed my body so much that I am now satisfied with it. The only thing that I would want to have done if I could afford it would be bottom surgery that would involve the method that May talked about, but with the penectomy, like the
Sure.
self lubricating, not dilating one, not penile inversion, because that's really not that good of a method. But
Yeah,
like
I mean if
I don't,
you don't
yeah,
have to dilate, but if you're never going to I mean there is zero depth vaginoplasties
yeah,
too.
yep, I know. But
But
I would just prefer something that works like
okay.
even though I'm asexual, I would prefer something that looks more like what is what an AFAB person would have.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I'm just saying, like, that aside, as long as my genitals are like tucked and out of the way, out of sight, out of mind, they don't bother me. And like the rest of me looks like it should look, and I don't experience dysphoria anymore. And this is someone who tried to kill themselves once because of dysphoria.
I
I
mean
experienced dysphoria. Like transition honestly cured it. The only dysphoria that I get is when I'm out in public and someone uses a binary pronoun, or they say, "Oh, you don't look like a Caden," or things like that. But it's strictly social.
Yeah, like I don't have. I've never really experienced any social. But I like since my breasts have started growing,
Yeah.
I haven't had any chest dysphoria.
Mhm.
Just it's like it's like I know that I think the average is like a C cup.
Yeah.
So like that would be okay. I would want like maybe a D cup
Yeah.
or multiple Ds, but a C
Mhm.
cup would be okay.
Yeah.
So it's like I know they're growing. I know that you know I'm probably going to have at least a C cup. I know the rule of thumb is one cup size smaller than your mother, so that's going to be a D cup.
Mm-hmm.
So and um
We don't know what my mom. Yeah.
That may not be necessarily true though. That rule you said.
I
don't
know
know.
it's not
like-
One size
necessarily
smaller
true, but
than your mom.
I'm gonna hope, okay?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's hope. I know some people who like random like it's just it's like it's a dice toss. You'll never know what you're
It
gonna
is.
get. Like some people I
Exactly.
know like grow D cup boobs are bigger, and then some stay like A or get B. Like
Yeah.
it's just
I mean
I have a low B and I'm fine with it. Yeah.
like
uh,
I'm at the A cup level now, so it's fine. But
yeah, I've had
although
an
they're
A
like
cup for a
just
while.
barely at it, I say maybe I don't know. Maybe
The
A
thing
cup's a little
is
optimistic,
that
but
I
we
have
don't
trouble
know, but-
finding I have trouble finding A cup broads that actually fit, which is a problem.
oh
Oh, I
oh
get.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like the bandwidth is like how big they go because some stores like but the smallest bandwidth I've seen was like 30
Right.
and
Exactly. Like
and I'm like 36.
I'm
Like I
a
thought it was bigger, but I was like this is like I think a
I'm
I'm
also
pretty sure it's a
36
36
too.
36A.
Mhm.
I'm a
What it-
And that's
46.
hard to find.
46.
Then that would be very difficult to find anything
I'm-
less than an 8. And
I
46.
I'm basically wearing a padded sports bra.
Mm.
Well,
I have a 30 I think it's a 36A or a 38A, but I could and I only wear it with certain clothes because it doesn't
Yeah.
really fit properly. I can use strap extensions for it, but that only extends the back. It doesn't extend
yeah.
front.
Like a band that goes
So-
around. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can wear it
38A.
with my dress.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because my dress goes down pretty far, right? And you'd normally be seeing this or
Mhm.
black on it.
Mhm.
So I don't like that. So I went and got a couple of bras that would work. The problem is that they're not big enough around on the front either.
Mhm.
Uh,
I'd
So
say-
they're kind of a little
I'm
bit out of
really-
place, but I can still wear them with my dress at least.
yeah.
I think I bought one that was like a 34B. I don't know. It says 36, but it doesn't feel like that. Because one time I
Maybe a-
bought one.
Size. They do.
I don't know. Some fit differently than others. Some I think run small or large.
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yeah, some
And the
some
thing
do. I don't
is
know if
what
it's been mislabeled or it's just
Yeah.
because like I have this one from 36B from another brand. I don't know. I bought one time because I thought it was I don't know because I couldn't find any 36s because apparently the bandwidth I got the bandwidth wrong and
I got
Yeah.
my
need to
bandwidth right
replace
on my
them.
first
What I
try.
was gonna say is that,
Mhm.
I'm really fortunate to have probably one of the most common sizes, which is like 36B. But once you start getting up into the range that a lot of, trans feminine people are, which is like 40 and above,
Mhm.
you need like a 46A, a 44A. That pretty much has to be custom made because it's not a common size among cis people, and
Mhm.
these
Yeah.
companies don't care about trans people at all. So
There are some companies that
Difficult.
make various there are some companies that make bra sizes, but I'm not going to worry about it too much because
Mhm.
I it soon I'll be a B, and then hopefully I'll be a C.
Mhm.
I'm basically demanding progesterone and giving a
Mhm.
promise of
So,
caution.
and
Uh,
if you can't, then there's always DIY.
yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm just gonna be like, I signed informed consent. I've informed you on how progesterone works.
Exactly.
so
Prescribe it now.
so just give it to me, please, and I promise I will absolutely 100%, you know, um proceed with caution. That's what
One
I'm going to do with it.
go for it. Just
And then
one
I'm
word
going to
of
see her a couple of weeks later anyways, because
yeah.
this is to talk about the x-rays. This is on the 6th
Yeah.
of August, and it's to talk about the x-rays and ultrasounds that we're doing on my knees.
Um,
But my ultrasound isn't until the 9th. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to try to
yeah.
we're going to be like, okay, we'll be scheduling another thing later, so I'll
Mhm.
just, you know, keep you updated when we go back to that.
Yeah.
And again, I'm only going to start at 100, even though I'm going to, you know, ramp it up once a month to 300. So
Yeah.
um
I get that. Just
yeah.
one word of caution from someone who's on progesterone is that when you cycle it, and I don't know how it is when you take it daily, but when you cycle it, you will have mood swings. It's like a period, basically,
Yeah.
and you will have mood swings. Like yesterday, I was just feeling down in the dumps, and I was like, "Why am I feeling this way? I have no reason." And then I'm like, "Oh, it's that point in my cycle."
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
you will have to deal with it. It just comes with it.
I'm not going
It'll
to cycle
last.
it.
If you're taking it daily, then I don't think that effect would actually happen.
It'll probably happen for a while and then normalize.
Yeah. So just endure through it.
I mean,
It's
the whole point of,
challenging, but it's not that hard.
I'm going to be honest, the whole point, the not the whole point, the main point of going on progesterone is so that I can get off blockers faster.
Right. Oh, I
That's
get that. Yeah, because it makes like breast growth, speed up a
exactly.
little bit.
Exactly. The main reason I'm going on that is so that I can get off the other stuff and that stuff.
I get
Or
that.
maybe I'll stay on the progesterone but dial it back a bit. There are some other really good. There are some other shown good effects, like helping with
Yeah.
sleep, and I am like a horrible insomniac, especially lately.
Oh.
It's been really bad lately. Like
Yeah.
I've been, you know, I've had days where I've got like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and then the
Yeah.
next day I got like 4 or 5, and then the next day I got like 2 or 3. And
Yeah.
I'm like waking up in the middle of the night, going to the bathroom,
Oh
and
no.
then just sitting there trying to go back to sleep. Um, but I just can't go back to sleep. Um, and it's I'm going to ask for the progesterone first, and if that doesn't help, then I'm going to ask for sleep aids, because
Yeah.
progesterone apparently, if you take it before bed, helps you sleep. So
That makes so much sense, and it does help me sleep as well. So I
yeah.
totally get that.
And
Um,
when I say I'm like an insomniac, I mean I'm trying to sleep when I'm literally so tired it physically hurts me.
aw,
And I still can't sleep, just doing nothing,
I've
lying in
been
bed.
there.
I
I've
I I
been there.
I basically give up and play on Twitter and Facebook on my iPad that I use for an alarm clock.
I know, I've been there so much, and just you can get there. You can find things that help. Sleep aids are wonderful.
I
It
took
won't
some
last forever.
OTC stuff before,
Just do
but
it.
it interacted really badly with my sleep apnea. Of course,
Yeah.
now I have a CPAP, so that's not as big a problem. I can probably get, if I had, I might just ask for sleep aids anyways, because if I had sleep aids, I could probably get to sleep with the CPAP on.
Yeah.
I just can't get to sleep with the CPAP mask on. And any hope I have of buying a mask within the next few months is going to be
Yeah.
not going to happen, because I'm spending an extra $200 on my September phone bill for this lovely piece of work.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, I get that.
Because it's actually a really, really, really good, like, my phone company, Rogers Communications or whatever they call themselves. They're the expensive brand. I only even have a cell phone with them because I used to work for
Yeah.
them. But they are really expensive compared. Well, not really, but they're kind of expensive compared to everybody else. But
Mhm.
but their customer service is half confident. They're um they actually do pretty much have the best network in the country. There
Yeah.
are some places where you won't get a Rogers signal, but you'll get someone else.
Mhm.
But in general, they have, and they have, and while they have the more expensive plans, they have less. They also have more generous plans, with the exception of a company called Freedom Mobile,
Yeah.
which actually undercut everyone's data.
Willie.
Yeah, it was like
How did you
It's
do
like
that?
$60 unlimited talk and text, and unlimited data with the LTE up to a certain point, and then
Oh,
once you
that's
get past that
amazing.
certain point, they throttle your data.
Willie.
But you don't get overages ever.
Mhm.
So I can use like 100 gigabytes of data, uh, and I'll not be charged for overages. Um,
That's amazing. Like my plan is like that here with an American company
yeah,
called Verizon.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know.
with AT&T myself.
I used to work for T-Mobile as well, so I know all about. I know all about American Telecom, even though that was in like um.
It hasn't
So
changed that.
ours works very much the same, except for the best network sharing.
There was one thing
But
I wanted. Oh,
what
sorry.
what they're doing is they don't. I'm not on a contract. I'm not on a contract. Um, I financed this phone for them. On a 36-month finance plan. Now, if I
Yeah.
leave, if I leave the Rogers, which I don't really plan to, but if I leave them, then I have to pay for the remainder of the financing.
Mhm.
Um, but for the phone, but I'm not on a contract, so um, that's like really awesome.
Yeah.
And turn off. Uh, and Yeah, the only thing is that I have to pay the tax on the phone. And like, yeah, it's gonna be like $200 in taxes that I have to
Yeah.
pay, and I have to
That is
pay an
what.
extra 34 bucks a month or something like that for
Yeah.
the next year, and that's gonna make things pretty tight. But my old phone was utter shit. I needed a new one. And I can, like, uh, when I'm on the bus to Whitby, I hate that bus ride so much.
Wow.
Like, I can just watch YouTube instead of having to sit there and banter on Twitter or whatever. I can actually
Yeah.
tether with this to another device and use two devices. Um,
Mhm.
or not tether it. I can use a mobile hotspot,
Yeah.
so that works. Um,
Yeah.
so all that is great for
But
me, even though I'm paying like an extra $35 a month.
yeah, it's left you in a tight spot. So.
I'm uh yeah, we're down to two cleaners at work, so I'm going to be getting at least some extra hours.
Hmm.
So I should be relatively okay. Um, I'm my
Good.
I'm basically putting all of my birthday money towards paying off my laser.
Mhm.
So my birthday is the 20th of August.
Nice.
So that is going to solve that problem. That's going to free up some cash for me.
Mhm.
Because I'm paying $100 a month for the next
Yeah.
3 or 4 months on that. So if I can even get rid of $200 of that or $300 of that,
Mhm.
whatever friends and family manage to give me, that is going to be decent. And with the extra hours I'm getting from actually having available shifts I can take and
Yeah.
shift trades and all that, I should be fine for the foreseeable
Mhm.
future, assuming
Yeah,
that
that makes sense.
assuming that the girl drugs don't cost too much. And
Exactly.
I applied to the new Starbucks today. So if I get a job with them, I am absolutely golden. Because then I won't even have to pay for my girl drugs at all, and that's
Nice.
right now that's
I
$30, and it's probably going to be $40 or $50 coming up when I start
Yeah.
progesterone. So that's
We was that
yeah,
that worked out very well. I think. Whitney, though, you wanted to say something?
yeah, I looked off my HRT because my insurance basically covers it. Like, it's like
Yeah.
I only have to I think they only pay for like I don't know. I think the estradiol's free, but the spironolactone's only $1.
Yeah.
I have to
So
pay
close.
dispensing fees though, which is the big one.
Mm.
I've got to pay
So
out of pocket.
I'm paying $30, not $130. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
My
lot
insurance
cheaper.
makes it like even like both like the state one and my parents' plan I'm still on, even though my parents' plan got a little screwy with even like the old plan was like really cheap,
Yeah,
but
I'm
still.
I'm paying I'm paying like $8 for the Cypro, and actually I'm paying
Yeah.
like $3 for the Cypro and $5 for the dispensing fee from the pharmacy. And
Mhm.
I'm paying like 21 for the estradiol because I'm on patches.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So that's more expensive. So that's normally just under $80 for the what 16 patches I'm on per month, I think.
Mhm.
For 8 16, yeah. Yeah, I go through 16 patches. And I'm
Mhm.
being really bad with them trying to get my estrogen up. I'm just leaving the ones from the previous week on and slapping new ones on.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that I get everything out of them.
I take pills. My clinician said pills are more effective.
Really?
I don't know. It might be different for other people because pills
There's
did
so,
nothing for me. Pills made my
Hmm.
estrogen go down and it didn't
Huh.
start going
Weird.
up
there's
until I went
so
on
much
patches.
misinformation. There's so much
Oh.
misinformation.
Yeah,
My
I guess it could vary.
I feel that it's all I feel that it's all I'm going to say that everything works equally. It's just that weird things can happen when you're starting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. Although they also said that like I think I
Actually,
don't
I
know,
would
the information they provided me, it seemed like that there was like a like effectiveness was like, oh, there was patches, pills, and injections from order from least to most. They straight up said that to me.
Mhm.
I mean, when I was going in, I'm just like I knew pills and I didn't really know about patches. I only
Yeah.
knew that people like injected it or pilled it, so I'm just like, well, just do pills for me because that's what I already
yeah.
knew. And
I
Yeah.
think
And
patches are more.
injections are
I,
difficult.
I think patches are actually more effective than pills. Mostly because you get past the digestive system with patches.
Mhm.
Like you're bypassing digesting the estrogen if you're on patches.
Yeah, but
Where
wouldn't sublingual bypass that as well?
that's what they have you do for estradiol.
I
Yeah,
was
that's
told
what
never to do that by my
really?
doctor.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
It says on my bottle, take. Well, now it says take sublingual route 3 times a day or 2 times a day
Maybe we just
previously.
have different pills.
Different
It could be
pill.
different pills.
Like
I know
it
the
it
mic
could
when
be
I
that
roll
it could be
before,
that my pills weren't designed to be taken sublingually.
It could be.
These? Oh, jeez. They're
That's
small.
exactly what I have, Whitney. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I have, and those were made to be sublingual.
Yeah.
That's
you
not
just...
what I had.
Really?
Okay, then
Hmm.
Yeah.
okay, because at first I got like really fetching worried when you said do not take them sublingual. I'm like, oh shit, shoot.
Like I said, there's probably some pills that are designed to be taken like that, and other pills that aren't.
Okay, good.
I might have been on the ones that aren't.
Good.
But either way, none of it did anything for me. And my doctor just and I want to be fair. She doesn't know anything about testosterone because she knows a lot about testosterone. She doesn't know anything about progesterone, and I'm just
Mhm.
tired and stupid. But she does know a lot about pretty much everything else. So I'm going to take her word for it when she says, you know, don't do that. At least with
Yeah.
the pills that she was giving me. And it didn't it said take 2 pills. The last one I had, which was said take 2 pills a day with food.
Yeah.
And may upset stomach. So it was obviously just intended to be swallowed.
Yeah.
Um
And I've never
But-
taken like patches. I didn't even know that patches were like an option.
Yeah, the one reason that well, there's a couple of reasons I'm on patches. The first reason I'm on patches is because I'm on Cypro, and
Yeah.
oral and Cypro and oral estrogen don't really like to interact very well.
Yeah.
And they are both very hard on the liver when together. They can also cause thrombosis in the brain
Oh,
when
that's
they're
not
taken
good at
together. However, none of that happens when you're on injections or patches. Or
Yeah.
there's actually a cream too. There's lots of different ways to get estrogen into. And the patches aren't nearly as hard on your liver. Now I'm also on only a bare minimum amount of Cypro, so it's not like it's utterly destroying my liver or anything.
Yeah.
Or nearly as likely to cause a thrombosis. But still, I don't want to take that chance.
Yeah, I know. And the thing about,
Also,
like, yeah.
with the patches, it's a steady it's a steady intake of estrogen,
Yeah.
and that makes it, in my mind, superior to injections, where you're going to have you're going to be on a roller coaster. You do injections
Yeah.
once a week, or maybe every 8 days.
Yeah.
You're going to be on a roller coaster, up and down and up and down.
Yeah.
So I do not need that in my life. So I just
Yeah.
said,
know.
I just said, give me patches.
And the thing that injections did for me, and this is just me, but I know I mentioned like my bad experience that when I switched to injections, I actually saw like quite a bit of masculinization and like high levels of estrone, and I ended up like I stopped passing. I no longer pass for like a good 2 years when I was on injections.
That's weird.
And like, and that's why I'm loath to switch my method again, because I had that nightmare scenario, and I don't want to have a similar thing happen again. I've heard good things about patches. Me and injections, I know that they don't mix at this point, but I have heard like positive things about patches. But I just don't want to take that risk anymore because I love not having dysphoria.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
love being seen as a man, and I don't want to go back to dealing with that again.
I mean, I'm kind of in the same place with pills because my estrogen dropped a lot when I started taking pills. So
Same with me and
And it-
injections.
and it only really started going back up. Now we did double my dose. I want to be clear on that. We doubled my dose of estrogen.
Wow.
And then it went up. Okay, but it still didn't go up until I started taking until I started using the patches.
Yeah.
And I actually finished off my pills as a supplement to the patches when I started wearing the old, just keep leaving the old patches on, so I can get every last drop of girl drugs out of them.
Yeah.
Just it's been 7 months and my estrogen isn't back to where it was since before I started HRT. So I kind of want to give it that
Yeah.
tiny
It
little
takes
extra
about a year.
boost.
It takes a lot. It takes about a year. Like for me with my NB drugs, it took me a good year to have like levels in the normal AFAB range, basically. It
Okay.
took me about at least 12 to 14 months, and that was from blood testing. So it just takes time.
Yeah,
And
my next blood
honestly,
test is in the new year.
Hmm.
it probably will have changed by then. Like one other thing that I noticed, and this might be kind of weird, but when my E levels got right, I noticed that I smelled differently,
Hmm.
and that I smelled like less male and more female.
Yeah.
That
was my way of being able to track it.
that was kind of an instant thing for me, actually.
I noticed it kind
Really?
of soonish, although since it got like hotter and warmer, like it's being sweatier now, so it's just like
Yeah,
for
you
some
also
reason
have
like
to.
my clothes got drenched in sweat, but they don't smell as bad as they would have been
Yeah,
before I started.
Exactly.
and you have to
And like
remember,
that
I
kind
started hormones in January, so there was none of that
so yeah.
until I'd been on for like 5 or 6.
Yeah. And the thing is that like, you know, that man stink was probably like the one of the most dysphoric things for me.
Mm,
It's like
same.
having that as part of
I
me at
understand
all.
it. I didn't like that either.
Yeah, yeah, it just stunk. That's all for me.
I just
It's
couldn't
like,
take
ew,
that.
I smell bad.
Yeah, indeed.
I
Like
mean,
one thing about transition that I've said, and this might be kind of a corny thing, and it's something that I say a lot, but it's definitely an adventure. Like you don't exactly know what you're going to get for certain. And 1 second, I'm gonna move back inside. Just dealing with that old stigma again. People out there, but yeah, like I've said, it's definitely an adventure, and you won't know what to expect starting out. I mean, you'll kind of know what to expect, but you won't know exactly what to expect. And
I
it's something that you just kind of have to roll with in a lot of ways.
I roll with a lot of things, but I have a very good idea of what to expect. And the reason I have a very good idea of what to expect is that I already look a lot like my mom. So I have a good idea of what I'm going to look like. Like I looked like my mom before I started transitioning.
Wow.
Like a lot like my mom. Like yeah, it's
It's obvious that you're a child. Yeah.
yeah. So when so I have a good, I have a good idea of what I'm going to look like when I'm done transitioning. So
Like
um
like for me, I look pretty much exactly like my sister now. And like before I transitioned, we kind of had like a little bit of a resemblance, but now it's like we could be twins almost. Except she's like 5'2" and I'm 6'3", but we look very much the same.
yeah, my sister's like 5 foot. No, my sister's 4'10" or 4'11".
So much so that like some family members have even been like, "Oh, is this Jessica or is it Kaden?" And then I'm like, seriously? And then they hear me talk and they hear like certain things I say. It's like, "Oh, you're Kaden," but it's just surprising how much I've changed on my
Yeah.
4 years of HRT.
I mean, I can see. I mean, I've kind of changed quite a bit, even just on 7 months.
Yeah.
I definitely noticed a lot of. I mean,
Hmm.
changes. I mean, some are good. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, once I get to like more months under it, sure it'll
Mhm.
be pronounced. But
Yeah, things will start taking off at around 6, 7.
Yeah.
mhm,
That's usually when most people told me that things will really get
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
I noticed my
sense.
biggest changes happened within the first 6 months, and then like between 2 and 3 years. Like me now and me a year ago, there was quite a significant dip, which I
Yeah.
didn't expect. And some of that is just like switching to a method of estradiol that works better for me. But some of it was just like natural progression.
Yeah, I mean my face looks a little bit different.
Hmm.
I definitely have drier skin, not like horribly oily or anything like that
Yeah.
anymore. This is just a really close light.
Hmm.
And
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know how much it changed yet. I don't know if I don't
The
think you've really seen. I asked some people to see if they noticed anything, but no one's really said they haven't.
yeah.
I guess the most major change was like eyebrows to make them look
Yeah.
less, burgeoning.
Yeah.
And
The best change that I've had so far, at least as far as my face, is I have like almost zero acne anymore, and it's
yeah, I don't think I
amazing.
Nice.
have.
Same.
It's
Same.
cleared me up a lot. Like,
I get a little bit occasionally, but it's mostly gone. It's like 99.99% gone.
I think there's still
So,
some on my back, but you can't really see it, so whatever.
oh, I'm only talking about my face. My body still has quite a bit of acne.
Yeah.
I think my body acne is getting worse. It's weird, but whatever.
The same thing happened to me.
You're
Like
roboting pretty bad,
the
Kaden.
same exact. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Uh,
I was saying that I'm gonna move to a different spot. I was saying that the same exact thing happened to me with like face acne going down and body acne going up.
I guess
It's
that
like
makes sense.
a known thing with estrogen versus testosterone.
Yeah.
Your body has to purge itself of the T slowly, and it kind of moves it down before it's out.
Well, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the tea purging, but it needs to be done to transition. So again, that's why I want on progesterone, and why I'm not going to cycle it. I'm basically just trying to get through my transition as
Mhm.
fast as I can so I can get off testosterone blockers, because I am
What
doing
is
better
the
than before, but I
Mhm.
would definitely not like to be on testosterone blockers. Um,
The
you know,
main effect that you want is boob growth, right? Because once you go back on T, like most of the other changes will kind of reverse themselves.
well, I'm hoping that I'll be on an, I'm not stopping estrogen, right?
Yeah.
So eh, I'm hoping that I can find, if not go off blockers, then go on less blockers and possibly different blockers that aren't Spyro. Um,
Mhm.
so I can
Yeah,
find that
I only have
equilibrium.
that option in the US. That's like for some reason you don't really have any alternatives.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have
It
alternatives,
is.
just they're not as
Yeah.
good. And that's saying a lot because it's Spyro.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but
The thing is that like trans healthcare in the U.S. lags behind just because of the stigma of it all. Like there was a huge social stigma.
There
So
is
no
I-
one wants to work as a trans doctor. Like no one wants to work with this population at all.
I've heard of a few good doctors, but yeah, generally a lot of them are shit.
Yeah, and people think it's a sin. People think it's a sign of a mental illness. Like you have a lot of medical professionals wanting to sign up to find a cure for being trans, rather than treatments that can make our lives better.
Yeah.
Like it's just that mindset. in a
Yeah,
lot of these-
I, you know, I mean, okay, this is coming from someone who is, you know, minorly dysphoric at the, you know, maybe moderately dysphoric at the absolute worst of times, and I'm usually not dysphoric at all throughout my life.
Yeah.
I am fine. I will be just fine. You know, I could be just fine with just the HRT.
Mhm.
You know, I want non-binary girl dick preserving bottom surgery, but like if it wasn't an option that I could easily take, then you know it wouldn't be. I would be at least half to where I need to be, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So I would be mostly fine with that.
Mhm.
So, or even if I never get a chance to actually go and get it for whatever reason, you know, it's not it's not going to be the end of the world for me. So
Yeah.
I you know, there are a lot of trans people who are like, I wish I was born cis, or
Yeah.
who would say that other people, trans people, should wish they were born cis, and I'm like, I would be as happy as a cis woman as I was as a cis man.
I would say the
I would
same thing
probably
for me.
like, honestly, like, I feel like I would just, like, if I were born AFAB, I wouldn't know. Like, at the very least, I'd probably want a dick, though.
I
Like,
would
Exactly.
still be agender, and I would still like. I wouldn't physically transition.
or maybe I would be more mask in that way. I don't know. There's no alternative me that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe I would have been trans mask, or trans femme, and or maybe
Yeah.
I would have been fine with being like a boy with a boy, like cunt
Well-
boy instead of a dick girl or something. I don't know.
Like.
Yeah, well, I'm
well,
gonna be both, so.
I would have still been agender,
Boy
and
pussy.
I wouldn't have had to like physically do anything, but I would still be. I would still.
I
be
don't
held
know. I mean,
capable of being
from what
myself.
from what you're telling me, from what you've told me, a lot of the reason you're transitioning is because of external factors.
Mm.
So you might
For
still
me?
be transitioning.
Me or
Yeah.
Whitney?
For you, Kaden.
I mean, I wouldn't say that honestly. Again, regardless of external factors, I could not live my life in a male body.
Okay.
That would give me severe dysphoria. Like my dysphoria with my male physical features before they got basically yeeted out of here in the past few years was just it was purely physical. I mean, there were social aspects, but it was the physical dysphoria. It would have bothered
Okay.
me completely, like, to live in a male body. I couldn't do it. If I were AFAB, I would be fine with the body I had, but I would not be fine with living as a woman and being considered a woman and having a female name. Like, because, like, the name that I would have gotten as a baby would have been extremely feminine, and it would have given
Okay.
me dysphoria. And
Yeah.
like, so either way, I would not have been fine being cis. But
Yeah, exactly. Like
I
if I was
AFAB, because at least then I wouldn't have the body dysphoria that I had being AMAB.
Yeah, if I was AFAB, then I would be in the exact same spot. It might even be harder to deal to it might even be harder or less effective to do it. So
Yeah.
or to fix it. So it'd be a
I-
little
I
more
think as somebody
normalized to
who-
fix it,
who
but
had- you know,
I
somebody
honestly
who
wouldn't
could
know,
be just added on to
but
them, yeah, kept their vagina. So it is possible.
oh yeah, it's more common for
Yeah,
to just but that's because there's only been techniques them people um that are worth even considering
and
for for a
agent.
few years.
Yeah, I mean
If
that makes sense. And like, I did have a question for you though, May. Like, and maybe I just wasn't clear earlier, but what was it that made you think that my transition was driven by external factors?
you were speaking a couple of shows ago
Mm-hmm.
about how much um about how much basically you were because you said your family is basically Mormons.
Yeah.
You were talking about how much they utterly forced you into the mailbox.
Mm-hmm.
um Mailbox. uh and how
Oh,
much
yes.
and
Mhm.
and how much worse that was for you. And you mentioned that you weren't necessarily fond of being seen as a woman either, but
Right.
because of the pressures put on you, it was better to be seen as a woman than a man.
Yeah.
So
And yeah,
that's where I
all of
was
that,
getting that from.
all of that is true, but my physical transition is not an attempt to be seen as something. It was an attempt to resolve my own body dysphoria. Like, being seen as things, it definitely adds a layer of things, but it's not like I'm like, hey, I'm going to go on HRT because I want people to see me differently. Like, it wasn't that. It was that I have fetching, 10 pounds of hair on my legs, and I have a beard, and I have all these really nasty male features on me, and it's killing me just off
Okay.
the physical dysphoria. And so I want to do something about that before I go insane.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry for
Which,
misunderstanding.
yeah, and like, I get that because at least in the trans community, we conflate body type with social presentation all the time. Like, that's one reason I don't like terms like trans femme or trans masc, because they kind of conflate those two things, and it's just,
yeah.
it's something that we do, and I should have been more clear in saying that I'm not talking about my physical transition. I'm talking about wanting to be seen as. And when I was saying those things, I was mostly talking about why do I dress in a feminine way and why do I do that, and
Okay.
not so much about why I went on HRT. But a lot of times, people in the trans community see physical features as part of gender presentation, and I just don't look at it that way. I don't look at having breasts as part of a feminine gender presentation. They're just body parts.
Yeah, I kind of see why.
So, like, I feel like the community might need to do a little bit of a better job with distinguishing physical transition and physical dysphoria from social dysphoria and social transition, and just social gender roles in general.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any social dysphoria. I don't know if I'm just lucky or weird, or if it has something to do with my identity. Um,
Yeah,
I don't think it has anything to do with my identity because I've seen other bigender people, you know, with crippling social dysphoria. So I think it's just I have the right combination of, you know, apathy, don't give a fuck, uh, identity, and just enough autism to not care. That's my autism superpower right there.
I
I don't. My autism superpower is I don't have social dysphoria.
yeah.
Um.
I mean,
So
I feel like my autism benefit, because I also am on the spectrum as well, is that I can see things outside of society's like socially constructed binaries, and I feel like that is a big part of my agender identity in and of itself, because I can separate, having boobs or having soft skin from being a woman, and like I can see things in a way that most in society just don't. And so I feel like that's like a positive thing that autism
yeah,
has given me. But
yeah, I have a hard time separating. I have a hard time separating the gray area, like
mhm,
everything but the most obvious stuff. I sometimes have a hard time separating what is supposedly masculine from what is supposedly feminine.
same here.
Um,
Yeah, it just
just
goes
same.
with again with passing, which is yeah, people just have
Pass,
differing views on. It seems
I
like.
and the thing about passing is that the only reason why it's important to me, I mean, having a body that is female is important to me, because it's the only it it's what feels most right to my brain, and it's the only healthy option apart from male, because having a completely sexless body, I've learned, which would have been my first choice, is having a completely sexless one, but that's not healthy. So having a female body is important to me, but it's not because of what I think is masculine or what I think is feminine. And I know it's confusing, but it's just like
I mean,
I
I
forget
completely
where
set.
I was even going, but yeah, it's just
I mean, I mean,
I
the
wish we
thing.
could get to a point where you
I
know it doesn't matter, where someone isn't gendered based on their body type by society.
Yeah. I mean, I completely separate the physical stuff from the social stuff.
Like,
Um. Right. Like.
but
And I guess we can say that English is not actually it'd probably be the best suited to add this sort of language, but we don't have the language added. Um,
mhm,
so it's probably not necessarily great at expressing the difference,
yeah,
unless you're specifically specifying from the social feminine or masculine
right
from
from the
from from
physical,
the from the physical feminine or masculine. When I say I'm
exactly.
trans feminine, I am not talking about anything social. Right? I always have been like
If you're only talking about the physical, then I have no problem being labeled
yeah.
trans.
I
No problem at all. But
I mean I like what social stuff have I done other than change my name and my
yeah,
and my pronouns, right? I've
yeah,
literally done nothing. I literally
no,
basically said whatever, I'm too sick and busy to do anything
and
other than take the hormones.
some, yeah. I mean, not to cut you off, and just saying that the reason why I'm so averse to terms like trans feminine, trans masculine, is because I've always seen them as social, and I've seen people use them as social. Like, to me, trans female and trans male would be the physical, but trans masculine and feminine, I've always thought of masculinity and femininity as social constructions and social things. So when I think of trans feminine. I think of someone who likes to go shopping and likes to paint her nails and wants a super feminine name, like, you know, Aubriana or, you know, Jennifer, and like wears nothing but dresses and likes to twirl around. And I'm not transitioning to that.
Yeah, I mean, like,
So
it's the word has many meanings, right? Like we have a language where I could use the word that I could use the word that I use for my name
yeah,
3 times in a row with the word meaning 3 completely separate things. And then I can use it
okay,
once again spelt backwards, right?
mhm,
So
yeah,
in may decide to make yams,
and that's
right?
a perfectly valid English sentence.
It isn't a valid English sentence, and I said may 3 times in a row using
Yeah.
the. Now I think there would be some punctuation in there, but I used the word may 3 times in a row. Valid, completely valid English.
Yeah,
So I like to use that as an example of how, you know, individual words can have multiple meanings, because
point.
this is a problem that I see a lot in the LGBT community,
Yeah,
especially when trans people are involved.
Mhm.
Is people getting extremely pedantic over basically what amounts to etymology, like
right.
over the
Yeah,
construction of a word, or, you know, they want to have a single definition. There's a lot of argumentum ad dictorium, and there's a
yeah,
lot of no Scotsmans, and there
mhm,
is a lot of etymological fallacies. Like by means two. That's an
There's
etymological
yeah,
so much
fallacy.
spy
indeed.
discourse out there.
Um, right?
Like
So
it means this or that, or like if anyone defines bi as just, oh, you have to be attracted to just men or women, it's like nobody uses it that way, and like not all of them.
exactly.
It's like
I have a very specific way of defining bisexual, because I don't even, when I say I'm bisexual, I'm not even talking about gender. So and I
Yeah,
think I blew out everyone's eardrums there. Sorry. So when I'm talking about being bisexual, I'm not talking about gender at all. I am
mhm,
excluding gender from my sexuality because I don't care about gender. I'm not attracted to
yeah,
gender.
sex.
I
yeah,
define it as I'm attracted to people with any set of primary and or secondary sex characteristics, including the lack thereof, be they mental or physical.
And that
same.
makes
And
yeah,
that ends pretty much any argument anyone else can have. But it's sad that I've had to go that far. You know, I've had people telling me I can't be a non-binary trans woman.
Yeah, some people did. I know some who do that. I just say like I use like the phrase demigirl more. I don't know. I guess I just like like phrasing it that way, like demigirl, demiboy, like someone who's like an AMAB demigirl and AFAB demiboy would be like kind of like not like trans mass trans femme. Like
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, although one time I explained it, I'm like I'm full-time non-binary but part-time woman.
And I don't use any of those terms because again, I'm 0% woman and 0% man. And I
Yeah.
think that
Gender
those
is just zero.
yeah, and like I think those demi terms are like perfect for people who they fit. But for me, it's like when I'm leaving May's definition aside, like when I'm basically encouraged to say that I'm trans feminine, it's like I'm identifying with the opposite binary. I'm binary in a way, and
Yeah.
that is like not only inaccurate, it's dysphoric.
I mean, even with that, you know, even with that, you know, even with your definition of trans feminine, I can't say I'm trans feminine with that definition.
Mhm.
What,
Yeah,
what
like-
was it again? I didn't hear it.
whatever.
when he's transitioning into the social roles and stereotypes that our society has for females, like
Hmm.
being cheerful and bubbly and wearing dresses and makeup and
That's
bloody
a.
shopping, things like that.
I feel like I would define it as anyone's as a someone who's assigned male at birth, but whose gender is more feminine than their assigned gender.
Yeah.
And that was not
Either way,
me.
It's
In-
really
it-
just a more inclusive. It's basically repackaging the term MTF but making it non-binary inclusion, like making it inclusionary of non-binary.
yeah.
But
But
it's not
I-
agender inclusive.
But if we're specifically talking only about gender, I'm not trans feminine.
Neither am I.
Because
I'm
I'm-
Yeah, it's like
because aside from closed name and pronouns, I'm doing none of the I'm not changing what gender roles I have. I'm not changing what I'm not really changing. I'm only really changing my presentation and what
See,
people call me.
like,
And
I
that's
still
literally it.
exactly. I'm not identifying with anything goalie, nor am I, transitioning to anything goalie. I mean, I still like to dig in the dirt and have adventures and play video games and read up on like old, geographic history, and I'm still myself. I'm still Kaden. I'm not transitioning to a more feminine point. And my gender identity has zero femininity and zero masculinity in it. So
Yeah.
it's like, why am I being encouraged to identify with the opposite binary when living in that binary would be just as dysphoric and just as limiting as living in the male binary.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading up on the Benson class destroyer. I like big ships with big shooting guns, of
Mhm.
course, um, and all
yeah,
that crazy
gendering
stuff.
hobbies is kind of weird though.
Yeah,
I mean, it
But-
is, but our society doesn't.
yeah.
And if trans feminine is about the roles that society has, then we kind of have to go there.
Then I'm not
Yeah.
even trans.
Set of behaviors, and I just find reading like yeah, if you just look like well, technically it is in Wikipedia, but I have it like on my phone, like gender wikia, like,
Mhm.
and then I mean that's where I go off because generally like any like wiki or Wikipedias are generally prescriptive than they're descriptive than prescriptive.
Right.
Like it's just compiled of what most people think it is, and the
Mhm.
editors
Yeah.
just let the
Well, it should
popular
always be
opinion prevail.
descriptive and not prescriptive. It
Mhm.
should always
I
be
said
like that.
I said descriptive, although some people like that's why I think ideally what definitions should be. So I'm in a way prescribing descriptivism there. Haha, I realize the irony of that, but
I
Yeah.
mean,
generally when it comes to identities, my take is what are most people using the term for, and
So with that,
like
I mean, I just grabbed the one that I liked the most.
yeah,
and going
just
with
go,
that.
just pick one and
Like-
stick with it. It's mostly just personal choice and style, like with any identity discourse that pops up, which always does on Twitter, like every like
oh god,
month
yeah.
or so. There's always a different one. I think the most recent one was by lesbians today, and I think there
I
was like
know
an
what it-
ace one. There's always, and then there's like just people just feel the need to just have these
should-
hot takes on them. Just let people identify what they want. Just who
Exactly.
cares?
I don't deal with that.
Yeah, I've
identity
been
discourse at all. I don't play identity politics. I just don't.
actually, it keeps popping up, but the whole bisexual lesbian thing, and trans lesbian thing, and NB
Mhm.
lesbian thing, and I just actively antagonize the you know tr- the I'll call them Puritans now.
Yeah.
And like I usually call myself a lesbian now.
Mhm.
Right? I'm bisexual, but I'm very homoromantic.
Mhm.
So
Like the
I'm
split attraction model could be useful for that. Like if you're like, for me it isn't. I don't know. I just don't really vibe with that term. I guess, although it's kind of similar, but like even the term like sapphic is fine. Like because people like, okay, we can let bi women use that, but like everyone, I don't think anyone disputes that per se. But even then, they both kind of have a similar origin. But
You do.
and honestly, it's just fucking.
I
And I know a lot of people who are like bi lesbians, and they're actually like older queer women who
Right.
back in their day only knew about gay and lesbian, because when if you look at like many historic like LGBTQIA plus, what we call that now didn't
Yeah.
really exist. They just said like gay or lesbian community in like the 70s and 80s. So
Yep. Exactly. So that's what
like
they grew up with.
yeah, I mean like
Like.
I'm essentially never going to end up with a dude because I just
Oh
have
yeah.
no interest in having any relationships with you know all but a very 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 tiny amount of transmasculine people out there.
yeah,
Or sorry, not
Exactly.
trans, of masculine presenting people out there, whether they're
Right.
trans or otherwise. um
Yeah.
I might be sexually attracted to them, but I definitely, you know, am very not romantically attracted to them. I don't necessarily want to, you know, be in a relationship with them.
Makes
So
sense.
it's
And
like,
like lesbian fits.
yeah. Um.
It does.
So,
it's
and
like
I
that's
get
the
hate.
thing. It's like multisexuality doesn't mean you have to be attracted to one gender. Like if you think it, but I think
It's not.
bisexuals have to be attracted to men. Like as long as you're attracted to multiple genders, you can fit under that term. And like, and then
Yeah.
just I don't know
Yeah.
what they're coming from, except for just this weird like, I
No,
don't
no,
know,
no.
this like,
It's pure tribalism. It's pure,
yeah.
you know, I want lesbian to only include me and people like me, and it can't include, and lesbian can't include people who
Even though
aren't
it
aren't
was
exactly
historically
like
used as an
me.
I
umbrella
just
term.
my
Yes.
position on all this is as neutral as my gender. I don't care.
Yeah,
Let me live my life in peace. Let
it's
me
a
have
very.
me post in
If
peace.
I ever
That,
get, that's what I feel like when some people try to do like any identity discourse, is like identities are a matter of personal choice and style. Like
exactly.
labels, like I just want to give like the cheesy like responses saying labels are for soup cans and just be done with it.
Exactly. And
I
I have the
know, I
same
know. I like
feeling.
saying that. I like saying that, you know, everything is basically self identification, and you
Exactly.
It's like
shouldn't tell
how would
people
you like
other.
describe it to like if you're gonna say or something, like even like if it goes like for example like a true scum might say like, well, I'm trans because I have gender dysphoria. I'm just like, well, how do you know you have gender dysphoria? Because your
Exactly.
feelings and how, it's not like you just went to your doctor and saying like, I feel wrong, and then the doctor just like did a brain scan. It's like, ah, you have a woman's brain even though you have a man's body, and then here you
Yeah.
go, have your girl pills, and I'll definitely refer you to some
I mean,
vaginoplasty. Like, no, that doesn't happen.
yeah.
What happens is like is people do when they question gender are just have these weird feelings, and they realize, oh shit, my assigned gender doesn't fit me at all, and they find something that does.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like
And that's all this.
self-identification is how it already works.
Exactly.
Anyone who wants to bring essentialism to it clearly has a
And
gatekeeping agenda to push.
dysphoria as well is not something that's essentialistic because it's so situational. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of
Def-
it is social, and that depends on location. It depends on family status. It depends on just randomness of the universe, and even physical dysphoria can change. And when
This.
someone transitions, it can go away. Like I no longer have gender dysphoria because I've transitioned out of it, and it just isn't a thing for me anymore. So, like, am I no longer trans? Am I now cis?
Like gender
Yeah.
dysphoria is entirely 100% completely subjective. So
Indeed.
you can't tell someone else whether they're dysphoric or not. And
Indeed.
also being transgender is also 100% completely
Subjective.
subjective.
So yeah,
So
like the whole true scum, you're not really trans and blah blah blah. I just don't even pay that any mind anymore.
I
I
asked I asked them, are you Professor Xavier? Are you are you a psychic? Are you reading my mind? Right? And they don't like that. Because I'm directly calling them out for not even knowing anything
yeah,
about me. Because like I said, I have gender dysphoria. But I have it so rarely and usually so mildly. It's like I have at times thought that I don't have it at all because I
yeah,
forget about it. And then it comes up and bites me in the ass from
yeah,
time to time. I don't think that's going to happen anymore.
yeah,
I mean, especially not after I have surgery. But
yeah. So
I barely qualify for it in the first place. And I've even been told when I've described my non-binary dysphoria to people that I'm not trans because of because my dysphoria works a little bit differently from how theirs
exactly,
does.
I've been told that like I'm not trans because of like me not identifying with being female, and like if I were actually trans, I would be like deeply, strongly in love with that identity, and I'm just like, fetch you, like you don't know my journey, you don't know my story, and just the things that true scum say, like I had one tell me that I had no right to call myself Caden because that's a trans mask name, and how do I do that? And I'm like, I'm agender. All names are agender. I'm
Yeah, I
not the
don't
only
get that.
agender person named Caden. I know of one other as well. Like, just heck off. And it's not even my full name anyway. So
Yeah, I don't even get why people are up in arms about people's names. I think it's a
yeah,
pretty gender neutral, honest.
it definitely is.
Um,
Especially when it's short for Cadence, which is pretty well female.
yeah. So like I don't get that. Um, and forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, I mean, like I am like, yeah, I'm female, yay, I guess.
Yeah,
Let me fix my body so that I look how I, feel I need to look.
yeah.
Um,
And like,
as opposed to, how um I'm not like super, super, super crazy, like you said, need to be super femme or anything. Um,
yeah,
and like I'm, I can hit like Futch at best.
Mhm.
yeah.
So I can't be I can't be very much more femme than this. This is the current limit of my femininity. Is what everyone sees on these shows. So
I mean, the way that
I'm in the upper limit there.
the way I present
Mm.
is pretty feminine, but
Hmm.
at the same time, I feel like my personality is more masculine. So it just like it kind of meets in the middle, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, sure. I definitely have a more masculine personality, and I present however the hell I want. um,
Exactly.
Like, I'm wearing this today because I just got this shirt and I like it and I want to wear it, and I think it looks great with. Oh, I
It
think it looks
does.
great with the skirt. They go
Yeah.
well together. So, yeah, this is good. Um, but I've worn men's shirts with this skirt too that look great.
Exactly.
I have
I
before.
yeah. Um, I've worn, you know, uh, like I would wear men's jeans or something, with this shirt if it was not summer. Um,
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. And I mean, it makes no difference. It makes no difference to me.
Exactly.
And I guess I probably have an androgynous presentation otherwise. I
You
think
do.
so.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm cool with that. I have no need to be super feminine, and I have no need to be super masculine, and I have no need to
Exactly.
be, I have no need to be terribly androgynous either, right?
Yeah.
I just I'm just doing myself. I'm just being me. So
Indeed. And the
that's
thing, same here, same. And the thing about it is that, like, back when there was more gatekeeping, I would have told them whatever they wanted to hear so that I could get the physical treatments to make my body white. I would have said, yeah, sure, I'm female, whatever. Like, I would have gone out of my way because I would want to have the body that I do now. But now that I don't have to clear those hurdles, I'm pretty loud and proud about being agender because I want to be like, agender isn't just the one stereotype that you have of the really skinny androgynous AFAB person who doesn't want to physically transition. Like, it's people like me as well.
yeah, yeah.
And so I'm just loud and proud about it now because I can be. But if this were 1970, I would fake whatever I needed to fake until I could until I could fully transition and then be myself.
Yeah, I couldn't do the fakery. I got to the point where I would have had to try. Um,
Mhm.
but I probably could have gotten away with it just by being myself.
Yeah,
Thinking of how I am now, I might have been able to get away with it. But also, like, I think it would have been. I definitely felt in 2005 that it
yeah,
would have been way too much trouble than it was worth for me to
yeah,
even bother trying.
yeah. Like in
Because
2005, I was a freshman in college and I thought about transitioning as well, but I was like, my parents would cut me off and I wouldn't be able to finish college because they were paying for some of my tuition and I just didn't want to risk the rest of my life. And as horrific as it was, like, I was able to carve out a little tiny space to be myself. Like, I had a few people who would refer to me as Kaden, and I had like my own style of androgynous dress. It made me feel a little bit better, but I just couldn't do it back then. But if I needed to, like, if I were the age that I am now back then, I would have made it happen no matter what.
I, yeah, I mean, I could deal without transitioning if it wasn't a possibility
Mhm.
without too much trouble. Um,
Mhm.
it would just be very not good for me.
I know.
But I could deal with it if I really had to. I mean, I would be completely introverted eventually.
Mm.
Well, I mean, I already was. I'd be completely introverted, and I wouldn't be taking very good care of myself in any way or anything like that, but I could deal with it if I absolutely like if transition wasn't an option, then I could deal with it. Just it wouldn't what I would do to deal with the dysphoria is actually probably worse than the dysphoria.
Like, to be honest, I wouldn't be here, honestly, if it weren't an option and if I had to live the rest of my life as dead name,
Mm-hmm.
like, I wouldn't have made it to 30 at all.
Yeah.
I
I
would-
don't.
I wouldn't be here. So I'm grateful that it is an option because I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're happy that you're here too.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Like,
I do have to get going though. It's almost 10 p.m. here.
yeah, I
it's
was
like
gonna say, I'm
way
like,
past 11. I gotta go to bed soon.
yeah, it's like 20 to 11.
Mhm.
No, it's like 20 to midnight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was a great hangout.
It was. It was.
So that's good, and we're on my you're welcome. We're on my channel, not the Nuanced Nonsense. That thumbnail I actually made that in Krita, so I think it looks pretty cool. That's really all I have to say a whole lot. And yeah, I'm actually kind of really tired and I'm probably in bed. So I will say this is the stream. Thanks to people for watching and
everyone.
joining.
Good night.
And
Bye-bye.
have a good one, eh?
Good night, eh?